Reborn as the villain, left with half a life. Chapter 1, Reborn as the villain, left with half a life. Yiyi, is this your first time at KTV? Come, drink. Hum. In front of Lin Tian, two young women raised their glasses, about to drink. He looked around and felt utterly confused. Wasn't he just reading a novel in bed? How did he suddenly end up in this unfamiliar KTV room, and why was he dressed in a suit? Lin Tian remembered. He had blacked out and felt a sharp pain in his chest. Could it be that he had a sudden death and transmigrated? Wait a minute. The scene before him felt eerily familiar. Was this the first chapter of the novel he had stayed up reading last night? The girl sitting on the opposite side of the booth was named Dong Yiyi, the novel's absolute first female lead. With fair skin, a beautiful appearance, and an air of cold elegance, she wore a professional office outfit that accentuated her figure. Especially her long legs. They were like works of art, sculpted by the heavens themselves. Lin Tian remembered. The novel had described her in such extravagant words, and at first, he thought it was an exaggeration. How could there be such a beautiful woman in the world? But upon meeting her in person, Lin Tian felt that the novel's description was insufficient to describe Dong Yiyi's beauty and aura. What about him? Lin Tian lowered his head slightly and saw the name tag on his chest. Lin Tian. Seeing those two characters, Lin Tian's eyes widened, and cold sweat drenched his back. It wasn't that he was shocked that his name appeared in the novel. It was that in the story, there was already a minor character with the same name. He was a sidekick to the villain. He appeared for 5 chapters before meeting his untimely death. The reason was simple: Lin Tian and Han Lili had set up a plot to drug Dong Yiyi. The mastermind behind everything was the novel's villain Chen, a well-known heir from Beijing. The plan was to bribe Dong Yiyi's best friend, Han Lili, to invite her to KTV and give her a drink laced with a drug. Then, when Chen arrived, Dong Yiyi would be at his mercy. But Dong Yiyi had the protagonist's halo. Just as Chen was about to act, the male lead appeared with the police and saved the female lead. The male lead, Chen Fan, was no ordinary man. He was a hidden martial arts master who had trained in the mountains, and upon arriving, he slaughtered everyone in his path. Ordinary henchmen were no match for him. A single punch from him nearly killed Lin Tian. Lin Tian remembered reading that, in the book, Lin Tian alone could take down 100 big men with his bare hands. Chen and his people were nothing more than insignificant pests in Chen Fan's eyes. After their plot was exposed, Chen, in an attempt to protect himself, abandoned Lin Tian completely. Meanwhile, Lin Tian, who had been trying to cover for Chen, had his legs broken by the protagonist and was sent to prison for 10 years. His already frail mother fell ill when she heard the news and died soon after. Lin Tian became labeled as a rapist in the eyes of all his relatives and friends. It was tragic beyond words. No, this couldn't happen. Lin Tian's face hardened. He couldn't let things play out this way. If he did, a dead end awaited him. The immediate priority was to prevent Dong Yiyi from drinking the drugged alcohol. If she drank it, Lin Tian would be unable to explain himself. Manager Lin, come, have a drink with Miss Dawn, Han Lili said, giving Lin Tian a meaningful look. Slap. Lin Tian slapped Han Lili hard across the face, sending her crashing to the ground. I'll drink to your uncle. Lin Tian shouted angrily. Dong Yiyi froze. Just a moment ago, Lin Tian had been meek, but now he was acting like a completely different person. Han Lili was also stunned, holding her cheek in disbelief as she stared at Lin Tian. Lin Tian. Lin Tian, have you gone crazy? What are you doing? How dare you hit me? Do you know who my brother is? Lin Tian, you're done for. I'll make sure you suffer. Lin Tian knew who Han Lili's brother was. His name was Han Xian, and he worked for the Song family. But the Song family treated him very well and had given him significant responsibilities. Lin Tian didn't explain and instead grabbed Dong Yiyi's glass of wine. This wine is drugged. She put something in it. Dong Yiyi was shocked. The word drug was particularly sensitive in a KTV. Han Lili's face instantly turned murderous. She never expected Lin Tian to say something like this. Lin Tian. Lin Tian, stop slandering me. How could I do such a thing? Han Lili hurriedly defended herself. Slandering you? Lin Tian placed the glass in front of Han Lili. You say I'm slandering you? Then drink this wine. Lin Tian said coldly. Han Lily's pupils dilated, and her face was filled with terror as she stared at the glass. Dong Yiyi wasn't a fool. If the wine had been safe, Han Lily wouldn't have reacted like this. Han Lily, why are you scheming against me? Dong Yiyi gritted her teeth and glared at Han Lily, her voice cold as ice. It's a misunderstanding, it's all a misunderstanding. Han Lily explained hurriedly. Misunderstanding. It was this misunderstanding that would soon cause Lin Tian to have his legs broken and sent to prison. Lin Tian grabbed Han Lily by the cheeks and forced the wine into her mouth. Han Lily stood up in a panic and ran towards the door, clutching her throat in an attempt to spit out the contents of the drink. Lin Tian was about to speak when he noticed Dong Yi's flushed face. He froze for a moment, then asked, "Why is your face so red?" Dong Yiyi struggled to speak. I accidentally took a sip of the wine earlier. Lin Tian rubbed his forehead. The drug was incredibly potent. Even a small sip was enough to affect a woman. What now? Dong Yiyi felt a wave of heat coursing through her body as the drug began to take effect. Today was her first time at KTV, and she had been curious about the taste of cocktails, so she had taken a small sip. Who knew there was something in it? Lin Tian was stunned. This hadn't been written in the novel. At that moment, chaotic footsteps were heard from outside the room. Lin Tian's expression changed. He quickly scanned the area and pointed toward the restroom. Hurry, hide in there. Dong Yiyi, hearing the commotion outside, bit her lip and quickly hid in the KTV restroom. Bang! The door to the private room was kicked open. A man dressed in a white suit, with a bloated figure, stepped in first. He surveyed the room. It was a large private booth, and the only person inside was Lin Tian. His expression darkened, and his eyes became eerily cold. This man was the mastermind behind the whole situation. Chen, the heir of the Song family. Where are Han Lily and Dong Yiyi? Chen turned to ask. Lin Tian, if you don't give me a satisfactory answer today, I guarantee you won't see the sun tomorrow. Chen's voice was cold enough to send shivers down the spine of anyone who heard it. Everyone in the room felt a chill. No one dared to imagine what was about to happen. With Chen's personality, tonight would surely be a sleepless one. The room was eerily silent. The men behind Chen had complex expressions. However, to everyone's shock, Lin Tian, a mere henchman in this operation, slowly sat down on the sofa. He pulled a cigarette from his left chest pocket, lit it with a lighter, and took a deep drag. What's going on? Lin Tian replied nonchalantly, as if there was nothing wrong. The real problem, in his eyes, was with everyone else in the room. Chapter 2, Using the Power to Suppress Truly a Thrill. Chen Ji, where's Dong Zun? Bai Hao spoke up, asking the question. She left. Lin Feng replied nonchalantly, Han Lily was drugged by me and ran off on her own. Dong Yiyi was released by me. Does young Master Song still find this answer satisfactory? Lin Tian exhaled a puff of smoke. Everyone was stunned, all looking at Lin Tian in shock. Lin Tian had lost his mind. How dare he speak to young Master Song like that? Didn't he know how long young Master Song had been waiting for this day? Even young Master Song himself froze for a moment after hearing this. When he came back to his senses, he immediately drew a knife from his waist and pressed it against Lin Tian's neck. Do you know the consequences of what you just did? Chen gritted his teeth. However, Lin Tian's lips remained curled into a slight smile. His calm attitude was so unbelievable to everyone present. Chen's bodyguards looked at Lin Tian with confused expressions. They couldn't understand why Lin Tian had such a big nerve. Young Master Song, have you thought about the consequences of your actions? What if the old master finds out about this? Lin Tian didn't respond, instead asking a question in return. Chen was taken aback. Young Master Song, do you know the identity of the woman you drugged? Do you realize the kind of trouble it will cause the old master if you go ahead with this? Lin Tian added 2 more sentences. After saying this, Chen moved the knife half an inch away from Lin Tian's neck. Remember, you're not the head of the Song family yet. As long as the old master is still alive, I'm still his man. Lin Tian's voice was cold, as if he didn't care about the situation at all. The bodyguards behind them suddenly understood. This simple logic made it clear that Chen knew better than anyone. Lin Tian was helping the old master. The old master would never allow Song Chen to go as far as drugging Dong Yiyi. The Dong family wasn't a small player, and Dong Yiyi was no ordinary person. If Song Chen went ahead with this, no one could predict what might happen. Song Chen was fearless in the capital, but there was one person he was terrified of: his father. Lin Tian was demonstrating exactly what it meant to use power to suppress someone. Young Master Song, are you still planning to do something to me? Lin Tian poured himself a glass of red wine from the table and glanced at his watch. You think I don't dare to kill you? Who do you think you are? Song Chen glared at Lin Tian, his voice full of anger. Even though Lin Tian was acting for his father, Song Chen had to save face. Lin Tian was openly provoking him in front of so many people. This was a slap in the face. I think you don't dare, Lin Tian said coldly. The bodyguards behind Song Chen couldn't help but shake their heads. Lin Tian was asking for death. Song Chen had already spared him once, yet Lin Tian still hadn't learned his lesson. Even if he was acting on behalf of the old master, he shouldn't be so disrespectful to young Master Song. Lin Tian was done for. This was the conclusion everyone came to about Lin Tian. But the reason Lin Tian acted this way was to send a message to Song Chen. He knew that even if this matter was over, offending Song Chen would still lead to a bad end for him. This warning had to be strong enough to catch the attention of the Song family's patriarch. Only then would Lin Tian avoid retaliation from Song Chen. Young Master Song, it seems you're not calm enough. Splash. Lin Tian finished speaking, then took the freshly poured wine and splashed it onto Song Chen. The red wine dripped through Song Chen's hair and soaked his white suit. At that moment, the bodyguards behind Song Chen all gasped. Lin Tian splashed wine on Song Chen. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have believed it. Song Chen was completely enraged. His eyes turned bloodshot, and he gripped his knife tightly, ready to stab Lin Tian. Beep, beep. Suddenly, a sharp sound filled the air, and Song Chen froze in place. Lin Tian looked at his watch again. The timing was perfect. Song Chen glared at Lin Tian, his eyes filled with rage. Don't look at me. It was probably someone around Dong Yiyi who called the police. You better remember my words today. Acting impulsively won't help you. If you had made a move just now, did you think about the consequences? Lin Tian finished speaking and took out a tissue to wipe the wine off Song Chen's head. At this moment, Song Chen seemed to realize something. His back was drenched in cold sweat, and his gaze toward Lin Tian became complex. Song Chen could only grit his teeth, give Lin Tian one last cold stare, and then leave with his men. There was a back door to the KTV. Song Chen could easily escape and didn't have to worry about trouble. Once he left, Lin Tian's calmness completely vanished. He slumped onto the sofa in the private room, breathing heavily. The knife had been so close to his neck, no more than a centimeter away. He had been dancing on the edge of a blade. But Lin Tian believed it was all worth it. He then helped Dong Yiyi out of the restroom. At this moment, Dong Yiyi's face was flushed, and she could barely speak. Luckily, the dose of the drug wasn't too strong, and she still retained some clarity. Bang! The door to the private room was kicked open, and Chen Fan rushed in. He was holding a KTV bodyguard in his hand, who had a large indentation on his chest, likely from a slap from Lin Fan. Wow, this guy has some serious strength. No wonder he is the male protagonist returning from the mountain. Let go of Miss Dong Yiyi. Chen Fan shouted at Lin Tian, pointing at him. Lin Tian only smiled and raised an eyebrow, responding. Where did you see me holding Miss Dong Yiyi hostage? Lin Tian was more than familiar with Chen Fan, the protagonist of this story. Though he appeared righteous on the surface, he was actually a seasoned playboy. In the novel, he had countless women surrounding him. Why did he appear just now, at this moment? It was clearly to perform a hero-saving beauty act and win Dong Yiyi's favor. Chen Fan raised his arm, and it was clear that Dong Yiyi was clutching Lin Tian's arm. How could it be considered hostage? This is a misunderstanding. Lin Tian is my classmate. He drank too much and accidentally triggered the alarm. Dong Yiyi gasped, her breath heavy. She was still under the effects of the drug, but she could still manage to explain. She was planning to go to the hospital immediately, but now her own people were blocking the door, which made Dong Yiyi quite upset. Especially Chen Fan. At this stage, Dong Yiyi couldn't stand him. She had no feelings for men, and now she had a male presence forced on her by her elders. Her dislike of him had reached its peak. Just when she thought things couldn't get worse, Lin Tian intervened at the critical moment. In the end, Chen Fan wasn't around when she was in danger, and now he was creating new trouble for her. Dong Yiyi was already considering firing him. "Sorry, officer, we caused you trouble." Since Lin Tian had saved her, Dong Yiyi didn't want to make things worse. She wasn't heartless. Her grudge with Song Chen shouldn't involve Lin Tian. "Classmate. This doesn't seem so simple. Boy, can you explain what this is?" Chen Fan said, pulling a small bottle of medicine out from the sofa. It was a bottle left by Han Lily, and its label clearly indicated its purpose. Chen Fan looked at Lin Tian with a cold smirk, handing the bottle to the police officer. Lin Tian's heart skipped a beat. This guy really was sharp. The dim light in the private room didn't faze him at all. "Miss Dong Yiyi, your face is red. If I'm not mistaken, this guy drugged you." Smack. Dong Yiyi grabbed her handbag and threw it at Chen Fan. "Chen Fan, get out." Before Chen Fan could finish his sentence, Dong Yiyi scolded him angrily. How annoying. He should be called Annoying Fan instead. Why did he have to interfere now? Did he think she didn't know what happened? And then he pointed out her red face. Didn't he realize she was desperately trying to hide the effects of the drug? She was trying to cover it up, but he had to make it public. Chen Fan froze. He didn't understand why he was being reprimanded when he was just trying to help. He could only say that the male. Chapter 3, The Villain's Path to Advancement. Hiss. As expected of the Tiger of Beijing, the most influential figure in the city, with enough power to even affect government affairs to some extent. He controls both the black and white sides of the city. The uncrowned emperor of Beijing. Here? Old Tiger Song turned around, and thanks to this, Lin Tian finally had a chance to observe his appearance. His weathered face was covered in the marks of time, with sharp, angular features that exuded authority. A scar, resembling something crawling across his left eye, added an extra layer of terror to his face. Yes. This was the Song Old Tiger Lin Tian remembered from his past life. Not bad, come sit. Song Old Tiger nodded slightly, gesturing for Lin Tian to sit on the sofa. If this were the old Lin Tian, he would have been flattered and taken a seat. But now, the soul inhabiting this body was a transmigrator, someone who had thoroughly studied the original novel. Lin Tian had long since become accustomed to Song Old Tiger's capricious nature. Behind his apparent kindness, there was always something dangerous. "Old man, I was wrong." Lin Tian did not sit down but instead stood at attention, then deeply bowed. "Oh?" Song Old Tiger observed Lin Tian's response, a trace of subtle surprise flashing in his eyes. "Where did you go wrong? You've helped me a great deal. If that brat had managed to control Qian Tong Company's board of directors, it would have been a big problem for the Song family. You've earned credit here. You should be rewarded." "No, I was the one who was wrong." Lin Tian remained in his bowing position. "I simply chose the lesser of two wrongs. Neglecting your interests, old man, was my dereliction of duty. I cannot allow myself to make such mistakes. But defying young master's orders, if I do that, I'm not fit to be a member of the Song family. You've taught us all that we are family, with a clear order of seniority. Rebelling against young master is an act of disloyalty. I had no choice but to prioritize protecting your interests, old man. Don't speak of rewards, I should be punished instead." Lin Tian's words were not without purpose. Although Song Old Tiger knew his son was foolish and useless, he was still his biological son. In the original novel, Song Old Tiger's feelings for his son, Song Chen, could only be described as fatherly love. It was precisely because of his son's mistakes that the male lead had succeeded in killing him. If Lin Tian had taken any pleasure in defying Song Chen's orders, there would only be one outcome waiting for him: a reckoning. No matter how capable Lin Tian was, if he had no sense of family, he would not be the kind of subordinate Song Old Tiger needed. Har 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 har. Upon hearing Lin Tian's words, Song Old Tiger paused for a moment before bursting into laughter. His laughter started small and gradually grew louder, eventually becoming a hearty laugh. Song Old Tiger's gaze toward Lin Tian was filled with undisguised admiration and interest. He had not expected this low-level staff member to speak such words that pleased him so much. You treat the Song family as your own, that's good. I, Song, am not afraid of others making mistakes. I'm just afraid of people who don't do anything. Song Old Tiger wasn't a fool. People like Lin Tian, who understood their place, could be trusted with important tasks. I heard you splashed red wine on Song Chen's face. Song Old Tiger suddenly asked. Yes, old man. But young master was too agitated. I thought it would help him calm down. Lin Tian lowered his head even further. Good. Clap clap clap. As he spoke, Song Old Tiger clapped his hands, as though applauding Lin Tian. But when Lin Tian saw this gesture, his body stiffened. Damn. He knew that when Song Old Tiger wanted his subordinates to stop a mission, he often used this clapping gesture to convey the abandoned mission order. This had been reflected multiple times in the original novel. Damn. If it weren't for what Lin Tian had just said, he might have been in real danger. Useless fool, why don't you come out and thank your brother Chen? Song Old Tiger said. As his words fell, the door to the secret room in the study opened, revealing several figures. One of them was Song Chen. Seeing these figures, Lin Tian was even more certain of his suspicions. If he had shown any arrogance or pride earlier, the person stepping out from the secret room wouldn't have been Song Chen, but a group of well-dressed thugs. Brother Chen, thank you. I was out of my mind earlier and didn't realize Chen Tong Company was so tough. I'm sorry. Song Chen stepped forward, his face pale, clearly having gone through something unpleasant. Given Song Old Tiger's methods, he must have been severely reprimanded. In front of Song Old Tiger, even someone as rebellious as Song Chen was as meek as a grandson. When he returned to the family, the first thing he did was complain to Song Old Tiger, only to receive a scolding in return. After hearing his father's reprimands, Song Chen broke out in a cold sweat and no longer harbored any anger toward Lin Tian for stopping him. In fact, he was somewhat grateful. Don't mention it. Before Song Chen could even bow, Lin Tian immediately rushed to support him. You're not to blame. Don't worry about it. All right. Just as Lin Tian was about to continue speaking, Song Old Tiger waved his hand to interrupt him. As long as you act for the family's benefit, sometimes we need to use some emergency methods. No punishment this time, Lin Tian, you should be rewarded. With that, Song Old Tiger picked up a phone from the table and handed it to Lin Tian. Take this phone. It has both my number and Xiao Chen's. If you need anything, feel free to contact us. Xiao Chen has a lot to learn. You can teach him. This. Lin Tian's eyes widened as he looked at the phone. The phone was glowing with a golden light, and the back of it was engraved with a lifelike tiger. Lin Tian's pupils contracted, his heart racing. He knew this phone was no ordinary phone. The Song family only had 3 of them. It wasn't made by any brand. It was custom made by Song Old Tiger through a special craftsman. This phone contained many contacts, all of them belonging to Song Old Tiger's network of connections. More importantly, every call made from this phone represented Song Old Tiger's will. The will of the Tiger of Beijing. The person who held this phone was, to some extent, an extension of Song Old Tiger himself. Lin Tian couldn't help but take a sharp breath. Song Old Tiger was truly difficult to figure out. Being around him felt like walking with a tiger seemingly calm on the surface, but hiding tremendous danger underneath. When he entrusted someone with a task, it was never made crystal clear. Thank you, old man. Lin Tian quickly accepted the phone. He knew that receiving this phone was a decision that Song Old Tiger had carefully considered. Refusing it at this point would be like the old man eating poison. Holding the phone in his hands, Lin Tian felt its weight. At the same time, a surge of uncontrollable excitement rushed through him. From this day forward, Lin Tian, the insignificant lackey who had been on the verge of death, had now latched onto the biggest power in Beijing. He had become Song Old Tiger's most trusted subordinate. The feeling was so exhilarating. Not only did he not have to worry about his own safety like Song Old Tiger did, but he could also call on the power of Song Old Tiger at any time. Phew. It felt just like the exhilaration of Wei Zhongxian or Li Lianying, but Lin Tian was even more powerful than they were. Lin Tian also had his own little brother. Let us go, I need to rest. Song Old Tiger waved his hand, signaling Lin Tian and Song Chen to leave. Come on, brother Chen, I really have to thank you. My father even said I should learn from you, which means you're really something. Song Chen wasn't he holding a grudge. He placed Lin Tian on the same level as himself. After all, someone who was truly his father's confidant was someone who stood above everyone else in Beijing. Song Chen slung his arm around Lin Tian's shoulders and they left the study. Just as they stepped out of the study, Lin Tian saw Han Xian, who had been waiting outside. Chapter 4, Waiting for a Long Time. Just as Lin Tian reached the door and relaxed for a moment, he suddenly heard a voice. Song Chen, stay behind. I still have some things to discuss with you, Song Laohu said in a deep voice. Song Chen froze and returned to the study. Lin Tian didn't dare to look back, he quickly quickened his pace. As soon as Song Chen closed the study door, Lin Tian heard a sharp slap echo from inside. It seemed like Song Laohu still was calm. Lin Tian's throat went dry, as if he'd just walked through the gates of hell. If Song Chen weren't Song Laohu's son, the consequences for him might not have been just a slap. Unfilial son, kneel down. All you think about is women. Is there anything you know how to do except fool around with them? One day, you're going to be played by a woman. From now on, everything you do should be discussed with Lin Tian. Song Laohu's angry roar came from inside the room, and Lin Tian heard every word clearly. The words, ask Lin Tian before doing anything, meant that from now on, Song Chen's actions would be under Lin Tian's control. In the Song family, there were only two people who could restrain Song Chen. One was Song Laohu, and the other was Lin Tian. So, by extension, Song Laohu equaled Lin Tian, and that meant Lin Tian was like a father to Song Chen. Lin Tian, you little brat, finally come out. A loud shout interrupted Lin Tian's thoughts, and Han Xian appeared in front of him, his face dark and tinged with anger. Just barely out of the tiger's den, straight into the wolf's lair. Now it's time to settle the score between us. My sister can't just take a slap from you and not get anything in return, Han Xian said in a threatening tone. Han Xian's goons took a step forward. Han Xian didn't dare to touch Lin Tian in the Song family, but he could take him outside and deal with him elsewhere. Hey, I slapped your sister because I thought highly of you. I suggest you think carefully before talking to me, Lin Tian said with a faint smile. Things were different now. Lin Tian wasn't he the same Lin Tian as before, and Han Xian wasn't he the same either. What did you say? Han Xian's anger flared instantly. He grabbed Lin Tian by the collar, his veins bulging and eyes red with fury. Slap. Lin Tian swatted Han Xian's hand away and calmly adjusted his collar in front of everyone. Don't lay your hands on me. With your status in the Song family, you're not worthy, Lin Tian said coldly. Not worthy. Han Xian laughed in anger. He, Han Xian, was the Song family's top enforcer. He was Song Chen's confidant. For him not to be able to lay a finger on Lin Tian was utterly ridiculous. Lin Tian, do you know what you're saying? Today, if you kneel and apologize and break a hand, I'd let it slide, but you had to provoke me, Han Xian said viciously. Provoke you? If you're scared, you've thought too much. I can't be bothered with you, Lin Tian shrugged. You? Han Xian was on the verge of losing control. It seemed that unless he showed Lin Tian some strength, this guy wouldn't learn his lesson. With a wave of his hand. Break his legs and take him out of the Song family. Han Xian ordered his men. The henchmen moved swiftly, cracking their knuckles as they approached Lin Tian. At that moment, the study door opened. Song Chen walked out of the room, his right cheek bearing a clear slap mark. Seeing the scene before him, Song Chen's eyebrows shot up in anger. What the hell are you doing? Song Chen shouted. Young master, you're out. I was just about to teach this brat a lesson, Han Xian said, flattering Song Chen as he walked toward him. Teach your sister a lesson. Slap. Song Chen slapped Han Xian hard across the face, venting his anger at the man. The henchman froze at the sight, unsure whether to continue attacking Lin Tian. Young master, he disrespected you and threw wine at you. I was just helping you vent, Han Xian said, clutching his face in grievance. Slap. I don't need you to help me. Song Chen shouted, his voice filled with fury. Listen to me, if I ever see any of you disrespecting Lin Tian again, don't blame me for being unkind, Song Chen said, his tone deadly serious. From now on, Lin Tian is my brother in the Song family. Song Chen said this with righteous indignation as he draped an arm around Lin Tian's shoulders. Hiss! Han Xian sucked in a sharp breath, his body shivering uncontrollably. He stood frozen, his mouth agape as he stared at Lin Tian. Lin Tian was Song Chen's brother now. When had that happened? With these words from Song Chen, who would dare lay a hand on Lin Tian from now on? I warned you, but you didn't listen. Next time, pay more attention when you talk to me, Lin Tian said, patting Han Xian on the shoulder. Han Xian shuddered, cold sweat soaking his back. I just heard you say you wanted Lin Tian to kneel and break his arm. Han Xian, your courage is getting bigger, Song Chen said coldly. Young master. Han Xian couldn't find a way to justify himself. Kneel. Apologize to Lin Tian, Song Chen ordered, his face expressionless. Thud. Han Xian dropped to his knees in front of Lin Tian. He lived off the Song family, how could he dare defy Song Chen's wishes? Brother Chen, I'm sorry. I'll be more careful next time, Han Xian mumbled, his head down. What did you say? I didn't hear you, Lin Tian raised his eyebrow and pretended not to hear. Brother Chen, I'm sorry. I won't do it again, Han Xian repeated, his voice loud enough for everyone to hear. Fine, get up, Lin Tian said indifferently. It wasn't necessary to take things too far. Han Xian had learned his lesson and should now understand that Lin Tian had become someone he couldn't afford to provoke. Thank you, Brother Chen, Han Xian said, his lips twitching as he struggled to speak. His subordinates exchanged glances. It seemed like things were changing in the Song family. From now on, they would have to treat Lin Tian differently. After all, the young master himself had called Lin Tian his brother. Could this be a joke? Thinking back, Lin Tian had once been a mere underling in the Song family, just like them. But now, Lin Tian had become the young master's brother. The envy on their faces was clear for all to see. Lin Tian had been right earlier, Han Xian wasn't fit to lay a finger on him. Now that he held such a status, Han Xian was nothing more than a joke in front of Lin Tian. Lin Tian almost laughed out loud. Han Xian, the esteemed enforcer of the Song family, was now kneeling before him. In the original story, Lin Tian wasn't even worthy to clean Han Xian's shoes. But now? Han Xian had no choice but to call him Brother Chen respectfully. Having someone behind you felt amazing. Having power to bully others felt amazing. Being arrogant felt amazing. As the saying goes, sometimes you need to be ruthless to deal with people like Han Xian. Now, Lin Tian had become his worst enemy. Chapter 5, Making Plans. Han Xian retreated amid Song Chen's scolding. Then Song Chen brought Lin Tian to a room in the Song family villa. The room is elegantly decorated, and the floor is covered with imported carpets. A huge wine cabinet stands across one side of the room, filled with famous wines from all over the world. Song Chen took out a bottle, brought 2 crystal goblets, and poured a glass for Lin Tian. Raising his glass, Song Chen struggled for a moment before finally speaking. This drink is for you. Although I am particularly willing to do so, I have to say this. Although Song Chen is a bastard, he is not a fool. If Lin Tian had not let Dong Yiyi go, he would have been slapped by Song Lao Hu. You're welcome, Mr. Song. I'm paid to do this job, so I should do my best until my death. Lin Tian also raised his glass. The wine glasses clinked together, making a pleasant sound. The wine is shaking and the aroma is everywhere. Are you saying that I really have no chance? Song Chen suddenly said, with a hint of loneliness in his eyes. What do you mean no chance? Lin Tian hadn't reacted yet. Dong Yiyi. Song Chen murmured. Lin Tian smiled bitterly. It turned out that Song Chen was still thinking about this matter. Don't you want to have a chance? Dong Yiyi has the protagonist of this book by her side. He is a pretentious person who can slap people in the face at any moment. In the end, he is the one who destroyed your Song family. Now you are alone and it won't be your turn even if you queue up. You are still dreaming about what's going on here. Lin Tianjin wanted to wake Song Chen up, but unfortunately he hasn't been getting irritated recently. Ahem, Mr. Song, you should change your perspective on some things. All the women around you in the past chose to stay with you because they were attracted by the Song family's money and power. Ask yourself, do they really love you? Lin Tian spoke frankly, and his words made Song Chen fall into deep thought. What do you mean? Song Chen was a little dazed. I don't mean anything. I just have a few suggestions. You can listen to them or not. You can make your own choice. Lin Tian said seriously. Lin Tian, hurry up and speak. Song Chen was like a hungry child at this moment. My suggestion is that you apologize to Dong Yiyi first. He is still in the hospital because of you. Let him see your change and sincerity. You can't rush this kind of thing. What matters when chasing a girl is perseverance. As the saying goes, if you work hard, you can grind an iron rod into a needle. Let him see your persistence. One day Dong Yiyi will be moved. After Lin Tian said this, even his own feelings were nonsense. Really? Sure enough, Song Chen also showed a puzzled expression. How could I lie to you? You should know that I was given nicknames like the red apricot overshadows the begonia, the jade-faced little white wolf, and the supreme king of love, Dugu Shang. Lin Tian said, patting his chest. Seeing Lin Tian so confident, Song Chen nodded thoughtfully. Indeed, he should try to pursue Dong Yiyi in an ordinary way. Dong Yiyi is a rich lady after all, and she is very likely not to fall for the domineering president's tactics. And as for the incident of forcing himself on her, Song Chen now wanted to slap himself when he thought about it. Even if I get her body, what's the use if I don't get her heart? Having made up his mind, Song Chen plans to go to the hospital to see Dong Yiyi tomorrow and apologize to her for that incident. Come on, young master. I believe you will succeed in getting the beauty. Lin Tian patted Song Chen on the shoulder. Song Chen nodded, his eyes became firm, and his body was filled with strength. It was like drinking a bowl of warm chicken soup, and I suddenly felt full of energy. Apologize, I'll go tomorrow. He then held Lin Tian's hand again and said gratefully, listening to your words is worth 10 years of reading. You are truly the dragon and phoenix of my life. Song Chen praised again. No, Mr. Song, you have such a high level of comprehension, you must be a very smart person. Lin Tian said with a wry smile. The two exchanged greetings for a while, and then Lin Tian left the Song family villa. Early the next morning, Song Chen called Lin Tian and asked Lin Tian to accompany him to their hospital to visit Dong Yiyi. Lin Tian was stunned for a moment. He had just said it casually yesterday and thought Song Chen wouldn't believe it. Because the matter had already been discussed to that point yesterday, it would be somewhat inappropriate for Lin Tian not to speak up. But what Lin Tian didn't know was how much impact those words had on Song Chen. In order to prepare for today's apology, Song Chen tossed and turned all night last night. The more I think about it, the more I feel that what Lin Tian said makes sense. God damn it, makes sense. In order to implement Lin Tian's concept of pursuing Dong Yiyi in a normal way, he also specially prepared a set of equipment according to Lin Tian's guidance. When the news that Song Chen was going to apologize spread throughout the Song family, everyone who heard the news was stunned. What? You said young Master Song was going to apologize to Dong Yiyi? That's impossible. How could Mr. Song apologize to others with his personality? Unless the sun rises from the west. Everything is ready, it should be real. Even the security guard at the Song family's gate knew that Song Chen had been an arrogant and domineering person since he was a child. Even if he was wrong, it should be someone else who apologizes. This news was undoubtedly a bombshell, shocking everyone in the Song family. When Lin Tian arrived at the door of the Song family, he almost laughed to death when he saw the scene in front of him. Song Chen was wearing a piece of clothing that he got from a street stall somewhere, and he was holding a can of fruit in his right hand. Those are fine, but what does that Wuling Hongguang at the door mean? You should know that the Song family does not have a car that costs less than 5 million yuan. This Wuling Hongguang was obviously specially found by Song Chen. Mr. Song, what are you doing? Lin Tian asked. You're right, Lin Tian. I plan to date Dong Yiyi as an ordinary person. Song Chen replied. Lin Tian understood that this was the ordinary person in Song Chen's eyes. In addition to visiting Dong Yiyi this time, Song Chen also brought a few personal bodyguards. Although I have to be an ordinary person for once, my identity is still there. The Wuling Hongguang swayed all their way to the hospital where Dong Yiyi was. At this time in the hospital, Dong Yiyi arranged a lot of guards around the hospital because of what happened before. It's just to prevent Song Chen from coming here to cause trouble again. Before the Wuling Hongguang drove into the gate, it was stopped by Dong Yiyi's security guard. More than a dozen people blocked the hospital entrance, forming a human wall. The Wuling Hongguan was stopped directly, and Song Chen got out of the car with a dark face. "Mr. Song, please go back. The lady has instructed you not to disturb her anymore," one of the security guards said tremblingly. "Song Chen, this troublemaker, is well known in Kyoto. You have to be careful when talking to him." Chapter 6 Visit. Get out. Although Song Chen said this, he was still the devil Song Chen in his heart. Without saying a word, he kicked the security guard in the chest. The security guard rolled on the ground 3 times and then stood up again. The other security guards looked as if they were facing a great enemy and stared at Song Chen closely, but they still stood where they were and dared not move an inch. In the past, the Dong family's security guards were like mice seeing a cat when they saw Song Chen. There is a reason why they are so confident today, and the reason is, needless to say, Chen Fan is backing them up behind the scenes. As Dong Yiyi's bodyguard, after arriving at Dong's house, Chen Fan quickly subdued these security guards by slapping them in the face. Now these people obey Chen Fan's words and dare not disobey them in the slightest. "Don't you see who you are? If you don't give me, Song Chen, face, I will make you pay for it," Song Chen scolded. Song Chen's style of doing things has always been like this. It is almost impossible to change him by doing one thing. Today he was relatively restrained. Under normal circumstances, the security guard in front of him would have had his legs broken by him. "Master Song, please don't make things difficult for us." The security guard looked bitter. "Difficult? So what if I make it difficult for you? Just wait, I will order people to raise this hospital, and then it won't be difficult for you," Song Chen said with his eyes wide open. Then he took out the golden cell phone with a tiger in its mouth on the back and started calling his contacts. The security guards were trembling, and the people living near the hospital also hid themselves when they saw Song Chen, as if they were avoiding the plague god. "Mr. Song." At this moment, Lin Tian got off the Wuling Hongguan. "Don't forget what I told you yesterday, and don't forget what you are here for today," Lin Tian said in a serious tone. "A moment." Hearing Lin Tian's voice, Song Chen immediately stopped his actions. He can find someone to raise the hospital, but can he raise Dong Yiyi's grudge against him? Song Chen deflated like a frost-bitten eggplant. "Go in and let them know. I'm not here to cause trouble today. I just want to talk to your young lady." As Song Chen spoke, he shook the can of fruit in his hand. "This." The security guards looked at each other. "That's not right. This is not Song Chen's style. He is a devil, the young master of the Song family who is fearless in Kyoto. How could I possibly talk to them in such a nice manner?" The group of security guards felt like they were in a dream, and everything they saw seemed a little unbelievable. They soon realized that Song Chen's change in style should have been influenced by Lin Tian. Whoever spoke just now could change Song Chen's attitude by one sentence. Who is he and what is his status in the Song family? Song Chen has to listen to him. I've never seen this person before. Could he be a relative of Song Chen? No matter who he is, it looks like he is definitely more powerful than Song Chen. The security guards looked at Lin Tian in front of them. "Let me in. I'm going to apologize to your young lady. You've seen it. Today I didn't bring anyone else except them. There won't be any trouble inside." Song Chen's attitude was sincere and his tone of voice was low-key, completely different from before. However, Song Chen's attitude made the security guards feel more and more uneasy the more they listened. They stood there staring at each other, and no one made way. Lin Tian looked at them and couldn't help but sneer. Knowing that they were so determined, even if Song Chen said something, they were unwilling to make way for him to enter. Whether it was because of Dong Yiyi or the orders given by Chen Fan behind the scenes. Song Chen, who has read the novel, knows clearly the relationship between these people and Chen Fan. As the protagonist at this time, Chen Fan was just waiting for Song Chen to cause trouble and then fight. Then he comes out to save the situation and gain a sense of presence. "We really have no say in this matter regarding young Master Song," said the security guards. "Then let the one who can make the decision come out," Lin Tian shouted. Seeing that Lin Tian had spoken, the security guards no longer hesitated. The man in front of him seemed to be more powerful than Song Chen. It's hard to find a third person in Kyoto who can surpass Song Chen. The security guard picked up the intercom and reported the incident. At the same time, Chen Fan rushed to the hospital gate, and Dong Yiyi's female secretary also told Dong Yiyi the news. After a while, in the hospital corridor, the female secretary who received the news hurried to Dong Yiyi's ward. Bang! The female secretary hurriedly pushed open the door of the ward and shouted to Dong Yiyi breathlessly. "Miss, something bad has happened. Song Chen is here and is at the door." When Dong Yiyi heard this, she sat up from the hospital bed the next second. "What does he want to do?" Dong Yiyi asked with a pale face. "Miss, don't be anxious. From what Song Chen said, he came here to apologize." The female secretary explained. Dong Yiyi was stunned for a moment when she heard this. "Say what you said again." "Song Chen came here to apologize." "Song Chen? Apologize?" It was difficult for Dong Yiyi to connect the two lyrics together. "Let him go away. I don't want to see him," Dong Yiyi said with a frown. Her disgust for Song Chen had reached its peak. No matter whether Song Chen meant it this time or was just pretending. "Dong Yiyi won't see him. If it weren't for Lin Tian yesterday, I might have been killed by Song Chen." Thinking of this, Dong Yiyi suddenly remembered Lin Tian and a blush appeared on her face. "I don't know whether Lin Tian was punished by Song Chen after letting me go. After all, he is a subordinate of the Song family. If he does something against Song Chen will definitely not let him go. Why? Lin Tian saved me, but I couldn't save Lin Tian." Dong Yiyi couldn't help feeling a little ashamed. "Okay miss, I'll have the security guards drive that Song Chen away right away. It's strange. Song Chen usually shouts and yells when he goes out, but today you only brought one person with you when you came to see the lady," the female secretary muttered before leaving. "Wait a minute." Dong Yiyi interrupted. "You said there were only two of them, who is the other one?" Dong Yiyi subconsciously guessed whether the other person was Lin Tian. "I don't know him, but I heard from the security guard that he is fair-skinned, handsome, and elegant. He is even more handsome than Chen Fan," the female secretary replied. "Even more handsome than Chen Fan? You should know that Chen Fan is the protagonist of this book. Dong Yiyi has met so many people, but there is only one person who is more handsome than Chen Fan, and that is Lin Tian. It should be correct. The fact that Lin Tian followed Song Chen to apologize means that Lin Tian is fine in the Song family." Dong Yiyi finally put her mind at ease. "Qingran, bring me my cosmetics," Dong Yiyi said quickly. "Miss, why do you want cosmetics?" The female secretary was a little puzzled. "I want to see them," Dong Yiyi said. Women dress up to please themselves, so if she wants to meet Lin Tian, she naturally has to dress up nicely. Chapter 7, Domineering. The female secretary didn't care either. After all, Song Chen's identity was obvious. Maybe his lady thought it through and decided to give Song Chen some face. After leaving the ward, she hurried to the hospital entrance. At the hospital entrance, the two groups were still in a stalemate. At this time, a figure walked in. Chen Fan walked in front of Song Chen with steady steps and a calm expression. "Who is making noise again?" Chen Fan shouted coldly as he came up. "Majestic and domineering. He is worthy of being the protagonist of the novel, although he is just a bodyguard now. But the aura he exudes is no weaker than that of Song Chen in front of him." When the guards saw Chen Fan coming, they straightened their backs and seemed not to be so afraid of Song Chen anymore. You should know that some time ago, their security captain, who was a 9th-degree black belt in Taekwondo, provoked and mocked Chen Fan. His ribs were broken by Chen Fan's punch and he is still lying in the hospital. Everyone can see how strong Chen Fan is, but the key is that Chen Fan is not afraid of anything. No matter who you are, no one can be tougher than his pair of iron fists. "Brother Fan, young Master Song is here today." A security guard walked up and told Chen Fan the whole story. When Chen Fan heard that Song Chen came to apologize, he looked at Song Chen in disbelief. "Are you sure he is here to apologize?" Chen Fan confirmed with the security guard again. "At least that's what Mr. Song said himself." The security guard nodded. "Song Chen apologized, is it possible?" If you say that the sun will rise from the west tomorrow, Chen Fan would still be willing to believe it, but Lin Tian really doesn't believe it if you say that Song Chen apologizes. Even a 3-year-old child knows how bad Song Chen's reputation is in Kyoto. "Mr. Song, you can go back now. Miss Dong has instructed that she will not meet anyone today," Chen Fan said directly. "Whether you apologize or not, I'm afraid it's impossible for you to see Miss Dong today." Song Chen frowned. He didn't know that Chen Fan was the protagonist of this book. In his eyes, Chen Fan was just a minion of the Dong family. Song Chen suddenly felt angry when a minion dared to speak to him like this. Just as he was about to explode, he was stopped by Lin Tian. Lin Tian walked up to Chen Fan and looked him up and down. No one will see it. Did Miss Dong say this? Lin Tian asked. Chen Fan also recognized Lin Tian, and a hint of coldness flashed in his pupils. The ambiguous relationship between Lin Tian and Dong Yiyi made Chen Fan very unhappy. You know, in his heart, Dong Yiyi is already his woman. If looks could kill, Lin Tian would have died countless times by now. Ms. Dong didn't say that. I was the one who said it. I think you know why. Chen Fan said coldly. Yes, I don't know. You are a dog of the Dong family, so you are not qualified to talk to young Master Song like this. Lin Tian said in a serious voice. Lin Tian is right, you are not worthy of talking to me like that. Don't you see who you are, a dog slave? Song Chen nodded in agreement, feeling that Lin Tian's words really made him proud. After saying this, Chen Fan couldn't help but look at Song Chen behind Lin Tian. Har har, you called me a dog. In my eyes, you are even worse than a dog. Chen Fan scolded Song Chen. What did you say? Song Chen was completely furious. He reached into his waist and pulled out a dagger. Song Chen had placed the dagger on Lin Tian's neck yesterday. Lin Tian did not expect that Song Chen, who came to apologize, would carry such a thing with him. Chen Fan's eyes were like an eagle, staring at the dagger in Song Chen's hand. As long as Song Chen dared to make a move, he would be sure to break Song Chen's arm in the next second. At this critical moment, Lin Tian came to Chen Fan's side in an instant, raised his hand and slapped Chen Fan in the face with lightning speed. Bang! The slap was loud and echoed at the hospital entrance. Chen Fan was stunned on the spot. His attention was just on Song Chen's dagger and he didn't expect Lin Tian to take action at all. The burning feeling on his face made him doubt his life. The security guard next to him was also shocked. You know, the previous security captain had 3 ribs broken just because he mocked Chen Fan a few times. However, in front of so many people, Lin Tian gave Chen Fan a loud slap in the face. It's outrageous. The protagonist was slapped. Or he was slapped by a villain's henchman. Remember, I slapped my young master on his behalf. He didn't do it because he was afraid of dirtying his hands. After saying that, Lin Tian hid behind Song Chen again. Lin Tian couldn't stop talking about Song Chen just to divert his hatred. I've been forced to finish the installation, and the rest has nothing to do with me. Every wrong has its perpetrator and every debt has its creditor. Chen Fan, listen carefully. You can't blame me. You're right. I didn't hit you because I was afraid of dirtying my hands. How dare you, a bastard, yell at me? Song Chen put away the dagger. I looked at Lin Tian with relief, and thought to myself, why didn't I meet Lin Tian before? This kind of follower is exactly what I want and says everything I want to say. No wonder my father thinks so highly of Lin Tian. It turns out there is a reason for it. You? Chen Fan gritted his teeth. His fist was clenched tightly in his hand, veins bulged on the back of his hand, and the muscles on his arm were like a dragon. It was like a prehistoric beast that was awakened by Lin Tian's slap. Court death. In front of so many people, he was slapped by Lin Tian. For Chen Fan, who thinks highly of himself, this is a great humiliation. This was intolerable. Chen Fan raised his fist without saying a word and was about to hit Song Chen in the face. Note that it was hitting Song Chen's face, not Lin Tian's face, who was hiding behind Song Chen. This punch embodies the skills he has practiced for more than 10 years. Extremely fast and powerful. Stop, Chen Fan, what are you doing? Suddenly, a shout came from behind the crowd. Chen Fan's fist hung in the air but finally stopped and he looked back. The person who spoke was none other than He Qingran, the female secretary beside Dong Yiyi. The Dong family security guard at the hospital entrance stared at He Qingran. As Dong Yiyi's female secretary, He Qingran's beauty is no less than Dong Yiyi's. The two people have 2 different styles, each with their own charm. Among this group of security guards, He Qingran is the perfect goddess in their hearts. Especially that hot body. Lin Tian took a quick look. At least there is He Qingran frowned and walked in front of everyone, separating Chen Fan and Song Chen. Qingran, get out of the way. You have nothing to do here today. Chen Fan had no way to vent his anger. Young Master Song comes here to apologize, but you still want to attack him. I won't let you go today. What can you do to me? If you have the guts, hit me too. He Qingran scolded. Chen Fan's silver teeth were almost bitten through. Chapter 8: The Frustrated Protagonist. In the novel, He Qingran is also a member of Chen Fan's harem. Her role is equivalent to Dong Yi's maid. Because he was with Dong Yi for a long time, he witnessed everything the Master Chen Fan did. Gradually, she developed a liking for Chen Fan, and finally, she and Dong Yi fell in love with his words. Even with two beauties in his arms, Chen Fan, the king of the sea, is still not satisfied and continues to expand his harem outside. The most important thing is that those women were willing to share Chen Fan's existence with others. This is the thing that Lin Tian couldn't understand the most when he was reading the book. Could it be that the woman in the book mistook Lin Tian for a shared bicycle and didn't mind at all? Chen Fan couldn't do anything to He Qingran, so he could only grit his teeth and swallow his anger, his face turning purple and blue. Lin Tian was laughing secretly on the side, feeling so happy. The protagonist is so frustrated. I want to pretend, but I can't. What's the use of getting angry? You can only stand there and stare. What is the use of your extraordinary martial arts skills? If you have the guts, just do it yourself. I'm sorry, Mr. Song. I'm sorry for the poor hospitality. I apologize to you. He Qingran said politely. Don't worry, our Master Tang doesn't bother with a bodyguard. Lin Tian interrupted. Song Chen nodded. Lin Tian was right. After all, it would be beneath his status as a young master to argue with a minion. Ms. Dong, please come in and talk. He Qingran said and turned to look at the security guard. The security guards made way for He Qingran without waiting for her to speak again. What? Miss Dong invites them in. No. We can't let them in. Chen Fan was unwilling when he heard this. He walked to the middle of the crowd and stretched out his hands to stop He Qingran and Lin Tian. He Qingran frowned and felt a little disgusted with Chen Fan. I used to think Chen Fan was a nice person, but I don't know what happened to him today, why he is so nosy. Who Dong Yi wants to meet, it's not your turn as a bodyguard to ask about it. By the way, Secretary this bodyguard just said that Miss Dong ordered that she would not meet anyone today, especially young Master Song. I wonder if this is true. Lin Tian said. He saw the displeasure in He Qingran's eyes and added fuel to the fire. Chen Fan, you are becoming more and more daring. When did Miss Dong say this? Aren't you overstepping your authority? He Qingran glared at Chen Fan. I did that for Miss Dong's sake. Don't you know who Song Chen is? Chen Fan argued. This is Miss Dong's order. Chen Fan, don't forget your identity. I don't need to teach you what to say and what not to say. He Qingran said coldly. After saying that, he pushed Chen Fan away and took Lin Tian and Song Chen to the ward where Dong Yi was. Chen Fan looked at the backs of the people leaving, and the anger in his heart was already written on his face. He had to endure it and wait for a way to fight back. It is never too late for a gentleman to take revenge. The forbearance at this moment is for a better outburst later. Song Chen, I'll remember you. Just wait for me. Chen Fan clenched his fists. On the way, Song Chen gave Lin Tian a thumbs up. He saw everything Lin Tian had just done. I admire Lin Tian's courage and wisdom. Well done, Lin Tian. He casually took out a bank card and stuffed it into Lin Tian's hand. This is a reward for you. Don't worry, I won't treat you unfairly if you work for me. Song Chen said. Lin Tian almost laughed out loud in his heart. Chen Fan almost wanted to eat you alive, and you were still praising me for doing a good job. I sold everything to you, and you are still helping me count the money. You are really something, Song Chen. Lin Tian suddenly felt that Song Chen was cute. Silly but cute. Mr. Song, the master asked me to help you. This is what I should do. I cannot accept this money. Lin Tian declined. Just take it when I told you to. Do you think I don't give you enough? Song Chen pretended to be angry. Having said that, Lin Tian had no choice but to accept it. Song Chen turned his anger into laughter and patted Lin Tian on the shoulder and said, That's right. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be able to meet Miss Dong. He Qingran heard the conversation between the two and inadvertently glanced at Lin Tian twice. On the one hand, it's because of Lin Tian's handsomeness, and on the other hand, it's because of Lin Tian's loyalty. There are not many men like him in the world, which is in sharp contrast with Chen Fan. She was thinking in her mind whether she should leave Lin Tian's WeChat message later. If the two of them try to communicate in depth, maybe they can create something good. As they were talking, the two came to the door of Dong Yiyi's ward. He Qingran pushed open the door and made a gesture of invitation. After Song Chen and Lin Tian went in, He Qingran closed the door of the ward from the outside. Looking at Dong Yiyi lying on the hospital bed, she looked a little weak. But her makeup was so exquisite, so beautiful that it could make fish sink to the bottom of water, geese fall to the ground, and the moon hide in shame on flowers. Song Chen forgot to speak for a moment. It was not until Lin Tian pushed Song Chen from the side that he finally reacted. Everything that happened before was a misunderstanding. I did do something to let you down, but I came to my senses in time, so no more serious consequences occurred. I promise you that I will never harass you again like I did before. I want to get along with you as an ordinary person. As he spoke, Song Chen placed the can of fruit in his hand next to Dong Yiyi's bed. As for why canned fruits were given as gifts, Song Chen specifically asked others for advice. Ordinary people usually give canned fruits when visiting patients. Listening to Song Chen's words and looking at the canned fruit that Song Chen brought over, Dong Yiyi was stunned. This is Song Chen, it can't be someone else pretending to be him. Or maybe the effect of the medicine I took yesterday hasn't worn off yet, and I'm hallucinating without realizing it. Dong Yiyi pinched herself secretly, and the pain told her that all this was true. You have to know that ever since Song Chen took a fancy to her, all the boys who got too close to her have been threatened and retaliated against by Song Chen without exception. There was even a man who was thrown into the sea by Song Chen the next day just because he had a meal with him. If everything before my eyes is true, then why is it so? Song Chen has a change of heart. This is even smaller than the chance of winning the lottery yourself. Mr. Song means that he has changed his side and wants you to give him a chance. Lin Tian interrupted with a smile. Yes, Lin Tian is right. Song Chen quickly responded. After hearing this, Dong Yiyi understood everything. She didn't know why Song Chen became like this, but what she was sure of was that this matter was definitely related to Lin Tian. And since Lin Tian helped him, why didn't Song Chen cause trouble for Lin Tian, and even let Lin Tian stay with him to see him? For a moment, Dong Yiyi couldn't figure out what was going on. I can put that matter aside for now. Dong Yiyi said. Really? Song Chen's face was full of surprise. Lin Tian is a god. What does this mean? Is Tian just forgiving himself from a side way? I didn't expect that this trick would be so effective as an ordinary person. It seems that I will have to do this in the future, maybe it will be just as Lin Tian said. One day, Dong Yiyi will be moved by her sincerity. Chapter 9 You stay. It is impossible to forgive Song Chen just by giving him a can of fruit. Dong Yiyi didn't mention that matter simply because she was afraid that Lin Tian would be implicated. It could be considered as a favor to Lin Tian. Song Chen's face drooped instantly. After all this time, he was still the same Song Chen in Dong Yiyi's eyes. Although I said that we cannot mention that matter for the time being, but you, the Song family, must give me an explanation. Dong Yiyi said again. Miss Dong, what do you want to explain? Song Chen asked. I will severely punish those who attacked me. Dong Yiyi glanced at Lin Tian. When Song Chen heard this, he also looked at Lin Tian and understood what Dong Yiyi meant. Okay, you can go, but Lin Tian needs to stay. Dong Yiyi said. Song Chen looked at Lin Tian with sympathy and felt a little ashamed. Lin Tian has helped me so much, but now I have to let Lin Tian take the blame for me. I feel a little guilty about this. But he had no choice. After all, the only way to get Dong Yiyi's forgiveness was to sacrifice Lin Tian. Lin Tian, don't worry, I won't treat you unfairly. Song Chen patted Lin Tian's shoulder. Then he walked out of the ward and glanced at Lin Tian when leaving the room, his eyes full of sympathy. He believed that Dong Yiyi kept Lin Tian for revenge. If Lin Tian stayed here, he would be in great danger. After Song Chen left, there were only 2 people left in the ward. Dong Yiyi sat up and looked straight at Lin Tian. Did you really bring Song Chen here today just to apologize? Dong Yiyi asked. What do you think we are here for? Lin Tian asked with a smile. He was not worried about Dong Yi's revenge. Based on his understanding of Dong Yiyi in the novel, she would not do such a thing. The so-called request for an explanation was just a trick to deceive Song Chen and create an opportunity for the two to meet alone. "Come work for me, I can give you a job," Dong Yiyi said straight to the point. After all this time, it turns out that Dong Yiyi wanted to poach my employees. Lin Tian is now a popular figure in the Song family. Song Lao, who is optimistic about him, and Song Chen listens to him. Let him work under Dong Yiyi. What are you doing? The security captain is also a personal bodyguard. Lin Tian would only agree if he had nothing better to do. Thank you for your kindness, Miss Dong. My loyalty to the Song family is evident to all. Lin Tian replied. Har har, so high-sounding. Dong Yiyi sneered. She was not a fool. She didn't think Lin Tian was really that loyal. If you work under Song Chen, you will be in trouble sooner or later. You should know what kind of person Song Chen is better than me. Dong Yiyi warned. Thank you, Miss Dong, for the reminder, but you seem to have misunderstood one thing. I am directly under the old man of the Song family, and I am not Song Chen's younger brother. Lin Tian said with a smile. Dong Yiyi lifted the quilt, revealing her white thighs, then stepped down from the bed and walked to Lin Tian's side. Dong Yiyi has met countless people over the years, but she found that she could not understand the man in front of her. I'm really short of people right now, you can consider it carefully. Dong Yiyi said with a sweet voice. She didn't lie. Dong Yiyi is indeed very short of people under her command now. In the original novel, the Dong family was undergoing drastic changes at this time. Mr. Dong is running out of time, and various forces are eyeing the Dong family's assets. The main reason is that Dong Yiyi is a woman, and the only biological child of Mr. Dong. Among the several forces, the most aggressive is Dong Yi's brother Dong Panchen. This person is an adopted son of Mr. Dong. He grew up in the Dong family and treats Dong Yiyi as a brother. Who would have thought that when Mr. Dong was critically ill, Dong Panchen suddenly changed his attitude? He secretly won over forces and ruthlessly suppressed Dong Yiyi. It seems like it is about to replace something else. In the end, in order to control the Dong family, Dong Panchen even joined forces with outsiders to frame Dong Yiyi. However, in the end, the protagonist Chen Fan saw through all of her tricks, and used drastic measures to help Dong Yiyi take charge of the Dong family. It also made Dong Yiyi fall in love with him and be willing to spend the rest of her life with Chen Fan. It's a cliched plot and the story development is so bloody. Dong Yiyi fell in love with Lin Tian and wanted Lin Tian to help her deal with Dong Panchen. After all, she is now at a disadvantage in the Dong family. If she doesn't fight back or do something, the Dong family's assets will fall into the hands of outsiders. Dong Yiyi came to Lin Tian, and Lin Tian could even feel the hot breath coming out of Dong Yiyi. Her eyes were full of charm, her face was charming and pitiful. Miss Dong, is this your beauty trap? Lin Tian said with a smile. Well, what did you say? Dong Yiyi took a step back, her face stained with a blush. The eldest daughter of the Dong family used the beauty trap on a follower of the Song family. If this matter were to spread, wouldn't it be laughable? Dong Yiyi's performance just now actually came from her heart. She felt that Lin Tian had an intriguing sense of security. It's easy to get stuck in it if you're not careful. You think too highly of yourself. I'll give you another chance to talk to me properly. Dong Yiyi said, biting her red lips. Be my girlfriend and I'll do it with you. Lin Tian reached out to Dong Yiyi's delicate hand. Bang! Lin Tian, you are so brave. Dong Yiyi opened Lin Tian's hand and looked at Lin Tian with anger. Her cheeks were flushed like the sunset glow. If someone else spoke to her like this, Dong Yiyi would definitely feel very disgusted. But that wasn't the case. Facing Lin Tian, there was actually a ripple in his heart. After adjusting her breathing, Dong Yiyi turned around. In that case, please go back. Dong Yiyi said. You kept me here to give me an explanation, and now you let me go. Lin Tian asked. Get out of here. Dong Yiyi scolded. Please be patient, Miss Dong. My request is not excessive. You should know better than me what you are going to face now. Lin Tian said indirectly. If I get involved in the Dong family's mess, I will inevitably get into trouble. For you, I would rather leave the Song family and help you. It can be seen that I am sincere in discussing this matter, and I also sincerely want to help you. There is no free lunch in the world. If you want me to help you, you must pay some price. Lin Tian made things clear. He was not a bootlicker and it was impossible for him to stir up trouble in the Dong family for no reason. As far as he knew, Dong Panxing was no small character either. He was very difficult to deal with because of his many evil intentions. Dong Yiyi was silent, and then she thought about it and realized that what Lin Tian said made some sense. She was even a little moved when she thought of this. The current situation of the Dong family was indeed not very optimistic, and she was at a disadvantage. Miss Dong, please think about it carefully. My offer is not excessive. By the way, Miss Dong, you look very beautiful when the corners of your mouth turn down, just like the clear water under the Wanhai bridge. Hearing this, Dong Yi's body trembled violently. My heart seemed to be hit by something and it was beating like a deer. After saying that, Lin Tian smiled faintly and walked out of the ward door. Chapter 10, Poaching. This Dong Yiyi is exactly the same as described in the book. Because she is the only daughter in the Dong family, she has been very strong-willed since she was young. She always treats men as if they are not allowed to enter. Even if she lets you get close to her, she will be very careful. The protagonist Chen Fan also went through a lot of hardships before he finally pushed her down. Wait. Dong Yiyi suddenly turned around and found that Lin Tian had left. There was a hint of loss in his eyes, and he tightly grasped the corner of his clothes, not knowing what he was thinking. When he walked out of the ward door, Qingran was standing at the door, staring at Lin Tian with a resentful look. She heard clearly the conversation in the room just now from outside the door. I thought Lin Tian looked like a gentleman, but it turned out that he was the same kind of person as Song Chen. You're going too far. Qingran muttered. Bang. What do you know, kid? Lin Tian patted Qingran on the head and left the hospital with a swagger. When he arrived at the hospital entrance, Chen Fan was still standing there like a telephone pole. Boy, go back and tell Song Chen that he'd better behave himself. Chen Fan warned. Lin Tian ignored him and asked, what does what happened between you and Song Chen have to do with me? After a whole morning of hard work, Lin Tian felt a little hungry, so he thought about going back to have a meal and then take a nap. By the way, find a bank and see how much bonus Song Chen gave me. The Wuling Hongguang was driven away by Song Chen, so Lin Tian had to take a taxi back. While sitting in the car and thinking about what to eat, Lin Tianjing suddenly thought of a fly-in-the-wall restaurant that the protagonist Chen Fan in the book loved to go to. Although it was a fly-in-the-wall restaurant, the protagonist had a special liking for it and would always go there whenever he took the women around him to eat. Lin Tian was also a little curious. Was the restaurant really as delicious as Chen Fan said? Since he was there, he also wanted to experience it. After telling the taxi driver the place name, Lin Tian arrived at the restaurant in a short while. Please let me go. As soon as Lin Tian got off the car, he heard a scream coming from the restaurant. Looking back, I saw 4 or 5 energetic young men in loafers pulling a young girl. Suddenly Lin Tian remembered something, and familiar memories came flooding back like a tide. In the original novel, when the protagonist first came to this restaurant, he staged a hero saving a beauty. The person who was rescued was Jiang Mengmeng, the third female character in this book. A girl from the countryside who came to the big city to work, as her name suggests, she is really Meng. She is innocent, simple and cute, and most importantly, she is a great cook. Later, she became a member of Chen Fan's harem and also served as Chen Fan's personal chef. In the original novel, Chen Fan completely treated Jiang Mengmeng as a nanny, and Jiang Mengmeng did all the housework. He was flirting with other girls outside and still wanted to eat the food cooked by Jiang Mengmeng when he came back. There's nothing we can do about it since Jiang Mengmeng is so naive. But should she be bullied just because she's innocent? Maybe this kind of person only appears in novels. But if you think Jiang Mengmeng is just a country girl, you are wrong. She is actually the illegitimate daughter of a big shot. Besides, Jiang Mengmeng is not bad looking either, with skin as white as jade, pretty face, and body as slender as a swallow. Especially those eyes, which were so clear that they seemed to contain the stars and the sea. What surprised Lin Tian was that in the novel, Chen Fan should have arrived at this restaurant at this time. But Lin Tian looked around and did not see any trace of Chen Fan. The plot of the novel has changed, and Chen Fan should still be guarding in the hospital. In the restaurant. Why are you pretending to be innocent? I asked you to drink with me because I think highly of you. A few young men looked unhappy and pulled Jiang Mengmeng's arm. Jiang Mengmeng struggled to tear it apart, terrified and unable to cry. The restaurant owner hid behind the counter. He heard that these people had powerful backers, so he didn't dare to provoke them as he was running a small business. Bang! One of the young men got angry and picked up a bottle of beer on the table and threw it at the restaurant door. The glass shattered and wine splashed everywhere, like flowers scattered by a fairy. The wine splashed onto Lin Tian's body, and a large area of Lin Tian's newly bought pants was soaked. The energetic young man used a little more force and the bottle of wine hit Lin Tian directly on the head. Lin Tian frowned slightly and walked towards the restaurant. His pants were newly bought, and Lin Tian spent several $1,000s on this brand name clothing. No, they must pay. Come on, drink this glass of wine, and we'll take you to have some fun. The energetic young man picked up the glass and was about to pour it into Jiang Mengmeng's mouth. I can't drink, please let me go. Jiang Mengmeng struggled hard and knocked over the wine glass with a wave of her hand. Bang! The energetic young man went up and slapped Jiang Mengmeng in the face. Give you face. Jiang Mengmeng covered her face, and crystal tears rolled down her eyes. The girl is pretty hot. I like this kind of girl. Take off her clothes so I can check her body. One of the energetic guys shouted. Several people around her started to touch and tear Jiang Mengmeng's clothes. With a swish, Jiang Mengmeng's sleeves were torn off, revealing a large area of snow-white skin. The more fiercely Jiang Mengmeng resisted, the more excited they became. No, I beg you not to. Jiang Mengmeng was so anxious that she subconsciously reached out and slapped the other person. The young man who was beaten suddenly had a fierce look in his eyes. He grabbed Jiang Mengmeng's wrist and pressed her hand on the table. He picked up a pot of steaming boiling water and was about to pour it into Jiang Mengmeng's hands. If you dare to hit me, I'll let you know how powerful I am. The teapot shook, and the boiling hot water splashed everywhere. The water droplets dripped onto Jiang Mengmeng's arm, making her scream in pain. Just when the energetic young man was about to pour the boiling water in the teapot onto Jiang Mengmeng's arm, suddenly, a big hand appeared and tightly grabbed the wrist of the energetic young man. Bang! Lin Tian slapped the energetic young man in the face with his backhand. He pulled Jiang Mengmeng into his arms with force. Are you crazy? Lin Tian frowned. When I read the novel, I always felt that these little gangsters were brainless, even a little silly and cute. But only when you are there in person can you feel how outrageous what these gangsters do is. Not only did he molested the girl in broad daylight, he also wanted to scald her arm with boiling water. Who are you? Stop meddling in other people's business. The young man threatened. Mind your own business. You made my pants dirty, you must compensate me. Lin Tian said coldly. Lose money. The energetic young man laughed and looked Lin Tian up and down as if he were a fool. Why don't you ask around and see who in this area dares to ask us for money? Ask the restaurant owner, does he dare to ask us for money when we come here to eat? The spirited young man said proudly. I wouldn't dare, I wouldn't dare. You all come here to eat to give me face. The restaurant owner behind the counter stuck his head out. I don't care about them. You have to compensate me for soiling my pants today. Lin Tian said lightly. Chapter 11 Compensate for my pants. Lin Tian casually pulled the frightened Jiang Mengmeng behind him. You're looking for death, kid. The energetic young man roared, then picked up the beer bottle on the table and smashed it on Lin Tian's head. Who knew that Lin Tian was faster than him and punched the alert young man right in the face. With a dull thud, the young man sat down on the ground, blood flowing from his nose. Joke. Lin Tian was a KTV manager before. He had no skills in that kind of place. How could he manage the employees and the place? When the spirited young men saw what was in their companion's hand, they quickly surrounded him. You dare to attack me, kid? You're dead. Do you know who we belong to? Several people said, gritting their teeth. Do you know who I am? Lin Tian asked back. I don't care who you are. Let me tell you that our boss is Han Xian. Do you know who Han Xian is? He is from the Song family. Several people said again. I'm also telling you that I'm someone you can't afford to offend. Lin Tian snorted coldly. You can't afford to offend me. I'll call our boss right now. If you have the guts, don't leave. I'm going to cut you into pieces today. Several people said fiercely. The restaurant owner behind the counter also shook his head, thinking that Lin Tian was too impulsive and did not even bother to find out who the other party was. This caused a big trouble. Han Xian was associated with the Song family. No one in Kyoto didn't know what kind of existence the Song family was. Lin Tian provoked Han Xian's younger brother, and thus began a feud with Han Xian. If Han Xian takes action, Lin Tian will be in trouble. Han Xian, what is he? Even if he comes today, you still have to compensate me for these pants. Lin Tian said coldly. The energetic young man took out his phone, and after making a call, several people showed gloating smiles on their faces. Han Xian happened to be nearby, and after receiving the call he immediately agreed to bring people over. It's too late for you to run away now, kid. I'll let you know today what happens if you offend us. You don't even give face to our boss Han Xian. I think you are really bold. You still dare to ask us for money. I wonder who gave you the courage. You hit one of our brothers today, and we will pay you back tenfold or 100-fold later. Several people were very proud and regarded Lin Tian as a turtle in a jar. Lin Tian didn't care at all. He was thinking that he would need someone to match his pants with. No matter if it's the people in front of him or Han Xian, as long as there are people, it'll be fine. He picked up a stool and sat in the middle of the restaurant, waiting quietly for Han Xian to come. I'm sorry, I have implicated you. Jiang Mengmeng choked up as she stood behind Lin Tian. She was a simple-minded girl, feeling very guilty, thinking that she was the one who got Lin Tian into big trouble. It's okay, I just simply want them to compensate me for my pants. Lin Tian said silently. I know you are trying to comfort me, why don't you run away quickly before their helpers arrive? Jiang Mengmeng pulled the corner of Lin Tian's clothes. Too late. The boss behind the counter shook his head. Lin Tian is in big trouble. Even if he runs away now, he will definitely be caught. All he could do now was to wait quietly for Han Xian to come and accept Han Xian's judgment and punishment on him. Hearing this, Jiang Mengmeng became even more anxious and kept persuading Lin Tian to leave quickly or find a place to hide. But Lin Tian acted as if nothing had happened, and even asked the boss to make him a pot of tea. He asked Jiang Mengmeng to bring the menu as he wanted to order a few dishes. You're asking for your own death. Several people sneered at Lin Tian's leisurely look. Lin Tian will never know what he will face and what kind of person their boss is. You won't be so proud for long, kid. As soon as he started talking, noisy footsteps were heard outside the door. The restaurant owner and Jiang Mengmeng turned pale. Several energetic young men stretched their necks. 12 people swarmed in, weapons in hand, and in an instant the small restaurant was packed. The leader was indeed the Song family's coach Han Xian. He was holding a steel pipe in his hand and shouted at the top of his voice as soon as he came in. Who the hell is so blind that he dares to mess with Han Xian? Has he had enough of his life? The 5 energetic young men jumped up from the ground and quickly drove to Han Xian's side. Brother! Brother, you are here! Brother, you have to make the decision for us. Han Xian glanced at the 5 people. One of them had blood all over his face and his nose was crooked. He couldn't help but look gloomy. Who did it? I did it. Lin Tian turned around and looked at Han Xian. Hiss. After seeing Lin Tian, Han Xian took a breath. That's him, big brother. He even said you are something. The energetic young man pointed at Lin Tian and agreed. If you don't teach this kind of person a lesson, he won't know how high the sky is or how deep the earth is. To dare to disrespect you is treason. Several people had a smile on their faces, waiting to see the show. Today, Lin Chinxiu would not be able to walk out of this restaurant standing. Han Xian, is this your subordinate? Lin Tian asked. Shut up, is that you who called me Han Xian? Call me Master Han, the alert young man scolded. Snap, snap, snap. Han Xian slapped the 5 men in the face 5 times with his backhand. The 5 men were beaten so hard that they looked at Han Xian stupidly. Han Xian also looked at the 5 people, his eyes full of anger. Wouldn't this just be asking for trouble for him? If it had happened in the past. Han Xian doesn't even take Lin Tian seriously. But things are different now. Song Chen had just returned in the morning and praised Lin Tian in front of him. They also said that Lin Tian was a great man, loyal and righteous. From now on, anyone who has a problem with Lin Tian will have a problem with him, Song Chen. As soon as Song Chen finished speaking, his younger brother started causing trouble for Lin Tian at noon. If this matter got to Song Chen's ears, Han Xian couldn't imagine how young Master Song would treat him. "Boss, what happened to you?" The 5 young men covered their faces and hadn't reacted yet. The next second, Han Xian walked straight to Lin Tian with the steel pipe in both hands. "Bow your head and bend over, showing utmost respect. Brother Chen, you are frightened. It is my fault that I did not discipline my child well enough. Please punish me." After saying that, he handed the steel pipe to Lin Tian. Things are different now. Lin Tian is no longer the manager of that KTV. He even dares not offend Han Xian, let alone the few minions under Han Xian. The whole restaurant fell silent at that moment. Everyone stared at Lin Tian with wide eyes. The restaurant owner's eyes were as big as bells, and he couldn't believe what he saw. Jiang Mengmeng was also stunned. She didn't understand why the people called by the energetic young man were so respectful to Lin Tian. The most shocking thing was those spirited young men, their mouths wide open and their minds blank. You have to know that this is Han Xian, the boss who is so powerful in their eyes. He was so humble in front of this man that he was like a dog. Han Xian called the man in front of him Brother Chen, which shows that this man's status must be higher than Han Xian's. They were still thinking about dealing with Lin Tian, but now they realized that they had hit a wall this time. Even Han Xian may not be able to protect them. Finished. It's completely over. Chapter 12, Floods flooded the Dragon King Temple. There's no need for punishment. Just look at my pants and see who will compensate me for it. Lin Tian pointed to the wine stains on his pants. When Lin Tian said this, the 5 energetic young men shuddered. Han Xian looked at the 5 people with deep eyes. With a thud, 5 people knelt down in unison. "We are willing to compensate Brother Chen for his pants." The 5 people shouted in unison. "Is that the end? Do you know who Brother Chen is? He is a popular figure around young Master Song. Do you think that's the end of it if you offend him?" Han Xian was obviously dissatisfied. Hearing this, the 5 people's hearts suddenly shrank. No wonder even Han Xian respects Lin Tian so much. It turned out that the person in front of him was someone close to Song Shao. That's not right. Isn't Han Xian also a member of the Song family? Isn't this just like a flood that has washed away the Dragon King Temple? It's like one's own family no longer recognizes one's own family. But looking at the situation, Han Xian's status in the Song family is definitely not as high as that of Brother Chen in front of him. There was despair in their eyes, knowing that they had gotten into big trouble this time. Ding ding ding. The 5 people kowtowed like pounding garlic. "Brother Chen, we know we are wrong. Please just treat us like shit and let us go. We were blind and didn't recognize the great man. We won't dare to do it again next time. If we knew that you and young Master Song were in a relationship, even if we had 8 of us, we wouldn't dare to yell at you." One of them took out a bank card and handed it to Lin Tian. "Brother Chen, this is the money to compensate you for your pants, and the rest is our honor to you." Seeing this, Han Xian no longer hesitated and took out a bank card from his pocket and handed it to Lin Tian. "Brother Chen, this is just a small token of my appreciation. I'll just treat you to tea. I hope you don't take it to heart." Lin Tian accepted it all without hesitation. "Get out." Then he shouted. The 5 people fled in panic with their tails between their legs. Han Xian bowed to Lin Tian, and then left the small restaurant. Lin Tian picked up the menu, ordered a few side dishes, and asked the boss to prepare them quickly. After being busy for a while, he was also hungry. Jiang Mengmeng walked to Lin Tian's side with gratitude in her eyes. "Thank you, you are a good person," Jiang Mengmeng murmured. Lin Tian smiled bitterly and shook his head. He didn't expect that he would be given the nice guy card by the 3rd female character. What he couldn't have imagined was that this incident completely changed Jiang Mengmeng's life trajectory. Now Jiang Mengmeng's eyes have changed when she looks at Lin Tian, and all she thinks about is how to repay Lin Tian. The food was served soon, and Jiang Mengmeng served tea and water, becoming Lin Tian's personal waiter. Although this restaurant doesn't look very good, the food tastes amazing. No wonder in the original book, their host always likes to bring people here to eat. 3 rounds of drinks. Lin Tian suddenly received a call from Song Chen. "Tell Lin Tian on the phone and ask him to go to the airport to pick someone up." He didn't tell Lin Tian who the person he was going to pick up was, he just told him to take the person to the Song family safely. After finishing his meal, Lin Tian did not dare to delay. He put the money on the table and prepared to leave. When he reached the door, Jiang Mengmeng called him. "Brother, will we meet again in the future? I must repay your kindness," Jiang Mengmeng said while biting her lip. "See you again if we're lucky." Lin Tian waved his hand and walked out of the restaurant. Jiang Mengmeng is a good girl, but unfortunately the protagonist Chen Fan is a sea king. Taking advantage of Jiang Mengmeng's innocence and kindness, he treated Jiang Mengmeng as a nanny during the day and as a wife at night. Lin Tian didn't help her on purpose today, but mainly wanted those thugs to compensate him with a pair of pants. As for Jiang Mengmeng's repayment, Lin Tian didn't take it to heart. After leaving the restaurant, Lin Tian rushed to the bank without stopping. Among the 3 bank cards, Song Chen's card has 200,000 yuan in it, Han Xian's card has 50,000 yuan in it, and the energetic young man's card has 10,000 yuan in it. The total amount is almost 260,000, which is a considerable sum for Lin Tian now. Lin Tian withdrew 10,000 yuan to buy a new set of clothes, and drove the Song family company's car to the airport. At this time, a young woman with fashionable clothes, charming figure and attractive temperament walked out of the airport while answering the phone. She held a limited edition Hermes bag in her hand, wore the latest Louis Vuitton belt around her waist, and a Patek Philippe diamond and gold watch sparkled on her wrist. "Hey, Song Chen, don't worry. I know about your blind date. I will talk to your dad about it. You should behave yourself recently." "Okay, little mom, I got it." "Thank you, little mom." "Hey, we are all family members, why are you talking about this?" "Little mom, I've asked someone to pick you up. Don't make the wrong car." "Okay, I got it. I'll hang up now." The young woman hung up the phone, put it back in her pocket, and began looking around for the vehicle. At this time, Lin Tian on the other side didn't know that the person he was going to meet was Song Lao Hu's 27-year-old concubine and Ling Xue, who is now Song Chen's stepmother. After watching for a while, and Ling Xue saw Lin Tian's license plate number, took off her sunglasses and waved to Lin Tian. Lin Tian's eyes suddenly lit up. A young woman was waving at him. I saw that the young woman had a hot body and a pair of voluptuous breasts that almost burst her clothes. Her snow-white skin is as smooth as a baby's, and when she walks, she looks like a willow swaying in the wind, full of charm. Especially that face, which is simply a beauty on earth. Men can't help but get their blood boiling at just one look at it. Seeing the man's dress, Lin Tian felt very familiar. This woman should be a character in the novel, but Lin Tian couldn't remember who she was. Maybe I was overthinking it. Maybe the person in front of me was just an ordinary relative of Song Chen. Without worrying about anything else, Lin Tian stepped on the accelerator and came in front of the woman, rolled down the car door, stuck his head out and asked. "You must be the person young Master Song asked me to pick up. Hurry up and get in the car." However, and Ling Xue stood there motionless, looking at Lin Tian with a puzzled look. Lin Tian was also stunned and touched his chin. Could it be because he was too handsome that the other party was at a loss for a moment? "Open the door." And Ling Xue frowned. Only then did Lin Tian realize that Ling Xue wanted him to open the car door for her. "You don't have hands yourself, look how you've been spoiled," Lin Tian said unhappily. "You have to know that he has no habit of serving others before. Even if he is a younger brother, he must have the dignity of a younger brother." "You?" And Ling Xue paused. "It's outrageous. There is still someone in the Song family who dares to talk to her like this." Unable to help herself, and Ling Xue looked Lin Tian up and down, wanting to see who had such courage. It didn't matter that she just looked at it, and Ling Xue's eyes lit up. Lin Tian just changed his outfit, all high-end stuff from head to toe. As the saying goes, clothes make the man, saddles make their horse, and dogs run happier with bells. It can be said that Lin Tianjin used to be quite handsome, but after putting on this suit, he is absolutely handsome. He is so handsome. So handsome. Chapter 13. She did it on purpose. And Ling Xue didn't get angry when she saw this scene. She opened the passenger door and sat in. When Ling Xue got into the car, Lin Tian glanced at the passenger seat. The first thing that catches your eye is a pair of snow-white straight legs. Then Ling Xue leaned half of her body in. An enchanting fragrance, accompanied by Ling Xue's breath, instantly enveloped Lin Tian. Lin Tian immediately felt dry mouth and tongue, and his heart beat violently and uncontrollably. A goblin. Anyone who marries this woman will live at least 10 years less. And Ling Xue looked up and their eyes met. Lin Tian quickly turned his head away. I silently told myself not to look at anything inappropriate. However, there was a hint of triumph in Ling Xue's smile. She did it on purpose. Why is it so hot in this car? Don't you turn on the air conditioner? And Ling Xue muttered, then naturally opened her collar. No air conditioning. You are kidding me. You can't feel the cold air. Lin Tian suddenly realized something was wrong. That was very wrong. Why do I feel like I'm being targeted by a hunter? Lin Tian looked at Ling Xue again. Open at collar. It's still a little hot. And Ling Xue said, taking off her coat and leaving only a sports vest underneath. Lin Tian swallowed his saliva. It wasn't he wasn't calm enough. No man can resist it. Even his hands, which were holding the steering wheel, were covered with sweat. Be careful of the impact, young Master Song is still waiting. Lin Tian coughed. Then let him wait. Let's go to the treasure pavilion first. I have a custom-made necklace there. And Ling Xue said with a smile. Lin Tian began to wonder if this person was really Song Chen's relative. The fact that he dared to tell Song Chen to wait meant that this person might be someone special. I must be more reserved. If something goes wrong, the consequences will be disastrous. You have to know that there is not a single simple character in the Song family. They are all the kind of people who will eat people without leaving any bones. Taking out the navigation in his hand, Lin Tian stepped on the accelerator and rushed towards the treasure pavilion. After arriving at the treasure pavilion, Lin Tian parked the car in the basement garage. We're here. Lin Tian said. Open the door for me. And Ling Xue used the same trick again. It would have been fine if she asked Lin Tian to open the door for her when she got in the car, but now she asked Lin Tian to open the door for her when she got out of the car. Lin Tian would definitely not get out of the car to open the door for this goblin, so he simply sat in the driver's seat and reached out for the passenger door handle. Just as Lin Tian stretched out his hand, and Ling Xue suddenly thrust forward. Hum. And Ling Xue made a sound at an inappropriate time. He glanced at Lin Tian sideways, with a hint of resentment in his eyes. Brush. Lin Tian reacted and quickly pulled his arm back, only then did he realize that Ling Xue had done it on purpose. Oh shit. This fairy is very cunning. It seems that Lin Tian still underestimated her. If anyone marries her, Lin Tian thinks it would be difficult for him to live to the age of 30, let alone 10 years. Who can resist this? Even if Wanhai comes, he will break his vow. This was also the first time that Lin Tian experienced this, and he couldn't figure out who this person was. There is no mention of such a great god in the novel. Before Ling Xue could go any further, she opened the car door, walked out with a gust of fragrant wind. Song Chen had previously instructed that this enchantress must be brought back to the Song family safely. Lin Tian did not dare to delay, he got out of the car and followed Ling Xue. The two of them came to the ground-level shopping mall, and Ling Xue went straight to a gold, silver, and jade shop called Treasure Pavilion. Lin Tian was standing at the door when he suddenly discovered that next to the Treasure Pavilion, there was a Western restaurant called Sea of Love. Sea of Love. This name seems familiar. Lin Tian suddenly remembered that this place was recorded in the novel. If Lin Tian remembered correctly, there was a great god hidden in this Love Sea Western restaurant. This great god was finally conquered by the protagonist Chen Fan and became Chen Fan's right-hand man. Although he is ordered around by the protagonist every day, this person never complains and is truly loyal to Chen Fan. Chen Fan looks glamorous outside, but he pretends to be cool and gets slapped in the face all day long. However, this great man did all the dirty and tiring work for Chen Fan in private, and was basically just a tool. Why is he called the Great God? That's because he is actually a master. In the early stage, his fists and kicks were no less powerful than the protagonist Chen Fan, and he could even suppress the protagonist. I want to talk about the later stages, because in the novel there is a boss who can beat the protagonist in the later stages. It's just that he has a tragic fate. Despite his extraordinary abilities, he can only do odd jobs in this Western restaurant. Lin Tian silently memorized this place in his heart, thinking that he would come here again when he had the chance. We must think of a way to snatch this great god away, so that Chen Fan won't get any advantage. Just when Lin Tian was thinking about how to get rid of the god of the Sea of Love, and Ling Xue had already walked out of the treasure pavilion with the things in her hand. Lin Tian discovered that Ling Xue had a gold necklace around her neck, and the gem pendant on the gold necklace was deeply attracted by her career ambition. I can't tell what kind of gem it is made of, but I can tell by the feel of it that it is not cheap stuff. Let's go. And Ling Xue waved to Lin Tian with a smile. Lin Tian followed in Ling Xue silently, and the two of them arrived at the underground parking lot one after the other. Lin Tian got into the car, inserted the key, and was about to start the car when he was interrupted by Ling Xue. Are you in a hurry to reincarnate? You won't get pregnant if you go later. And Ling Xue's voice was sweet and magnetic. Help me take a look at my necklace. And Ling Xue stood horizontally and placed it directly in front of Lin Tian. Now Lin Tian finally sees it clearly. Ruby. The lighting in the underground parking lot is so dim, and if Lin Tian wasn't so close, he might not be able to see it so clearly. White and big. Pooh. Red and big. It is as big as a pigeon egg and is particularly dazzling against the backdrop of its surroundings. That's right. Lin Tian replied. Only good. And Ling Xue seemed a little dissatisfied. What else do you want? Lin Tian would like to take a closer look with a magnifying glass. If it really doesn't work, Lin Tian will open a hotel and the two of them will conduct further research. Put the necklace in your hand and take a look. And Ling Xue said again. Hiss. Lin Tian took a deep breath. It was all hints before, but now it was made clear, allowing Lin Tian to take the lead directly. That ruby is in the endless abyss. Most people really can't do it. Chapter 14 Sister-in-law, please respect yourself. Take a quick look. And Ling Xue urged. If you don't take advantage of an opportunity, you're a bastard. This is a challenge to Lin Tian's courage. Lin Tian didn't believe that touching it would kill him. How is it? And Ling Xue asked. Tender and smooth. No, it's crystal clear, and small and exquisite. Lin Tian replied. Is this still small? Song Hu spent a huge amount of money on it, and there is only one like this in China. And Ling Xue said with a smile. It's not small, at least size. I've never seen one so big. Lin Tian said. Wait a minute, who gave you this necklace? Lin Tian frowned. My husband Song Hu, who do you think he is? And Ling Xue said calmly. Puff. Lin Tian almost vomited blood. Things really got out of hand this time. He never imagined that the person in front of him was actually Song Hu's wife. Song Hu is at least 60 years old, if not 50. How could he possibly find such a young wife? It's too much for an old cow to eat young grass. Can Song Lao Hu bear it with his physique? Are his two kidneys made of iron? Even if they were, they should have been destroyed by this goblin long ago. There is a record of an Ling Xue in the novel, but it is only a few brief mentions. It was written that after Chen Fan destroyed the Song family, and Ling Xue saw Song Lao Hu being killed and committed suicide by taking poison. According to the setting in the novel, and Ling Xue should be considered a person who abides by the law and values friendship and loyalty. After all, committing suicide for Song Lao Hu is something that most women would not do. But I don't know what happened to Ling Xue today. Was she drugged like Dong Yiyi? Wipe. It's a pity that he still has hundreds of thousands of dollars in his bank card that he hasn't spent. If he had known this would happen earlier, he would have been extravagant no matter what. Sister-in-law, this is a bit unkind of you. If the boss knew about you doing this, Lin Tian let go of the ruby necklace in his hand. You have nothing to hide, so what are you afraid of? And Ling Xue looked calm. Just swear if you want to, why put your hands on me? And Ling Xue gave Lin Tian a cold look. He talks a lot about benevolence, righteousness, and morality, but his hands are very decisive. Lin Tian heard a hint of chill in these words. He immediately sat up straight. Don't worry, I won't let him know. And Ling Xue explained with a smile. And Ling Xue screamed in pain. Lin Tian's face was serious, knowing that he couldn't continue joking like this. He didn't want to report downstairs so early. Sister-in-law, please respect yourself. Lin Tian said coldly. You should know who we are. At first, I didn't know you were Boss Song's man, and I was offended by you without any sincerity. Now that I know who you are, we should keep our distance. The boss has treated me well, how can I let him down? Lin Tian was awe-inspiring and had a look of great righteousness on his face. The main reason is that he doesn't want to die. You, and Ling Xue, can die but don't drag me down with you. Push harder. Hearing this, Lin Tian was stunned. He didn't react for a moment and thought he had heard it wrong. Hurry up and use more force. And Ling Xue shouted again. Lin Tian's pupils shrank suddenly. Could it be that he encountered that thing? I didn't expect that, and Ling Xue actually likes this. Lin Tian was so scared that he quickly let go of Ling Xue's arm. Let go. And Ling Xue reached back and grabbed Lin Tian. Lin Tian has really given it his all. Then the call was connected. Hey, Lin Tian, where have you been with my stepmother? Why haven't you come back after such a long time? Song Chen's voice came from the other end of the phone. It's been so long and you haven't come back yet. If you had called me a little later, maybe you would have brought back a younger brother. Lin Tian had no choice but to tell Song Chen the truth that he took Ling Xue to the treasure pavilion to pick up a necklace and they were delayed for some time on the way. After hearing this, Song Chen felt relieved and told Lin Tian to drive slowly and not to rush, and to take care of Ling Xue's emotions. Lin Tian was speechless for a while. You are indeed not in a hurry. If you knew that you almost had a younger brother who would compete with you for the family property, you would be so anxious. After hanging up the phone, Lin Tian glanced at Ling Xue, who had a smile on her face. Are you still going? Can we be a little more reserved? Song Chen called me again. Let's go back quickly. Lin Tian was really scared. This kind of woman might only appear in novels. Starting the engine and stepping on the accelerator, the two rushed towards the Song family. Along the way, Ling Xue even made some advances towards Lin Tian. Lin Tian scolded Ling Xue a few times on the grounds that he was driving and had to pay attention to safety. But who would have known that after hearing Lin Tian's scolding, Ling Xue became even more excited. Ling Xue didn't calm down until the car drove not far from the Song family villa. Chapter 15 Sister-in-law's Favor. As soon as she got out of the car, the receptionist from the Song family helped Ling Xue open the door. After getting off the car, Ling Xue was like a completely different person from when she was in the car and wanted to die. His expression is cold, his eyes are deep, and he has an aura that cannot be violated. It was as if these servants were not even worthy of his attention. The servants of the Song family were also very nervous when they received Ling Xue, fearing that something might go wrong. Lin Tian was a little puzzled. Logically speaking, in Ling Xue's eyes, he was just a driver at best. Why did she treat him differently? When we entered the Song family, Song Laohu and Song Chen were waiting in the living room. Seeing Ling Xue coming back, they both stood up at the same time. Lin Tian was standing aside and shrank his neck when he saw Song Laohu. Don't worry if it's fake. With Song Laohu's character, if he knew what happened in the car, even if Lin Tian had 9 lives, it would not be enough to die. In addition to the fear, there is also an inexplicable sense of excitement. Ling Xue, how come you've lost weight again after traveling? Song Laohu said softly. I can't get used to the food outside. Haven't you always disliked my fatness? Ling Xue answered as she sat down on the sofa. From time to time, he glanced at Lin Tian. Lin Tian saw this and his heart started beating fast. Why are you looking at me when you can just talk? I thought this goblin wouldn't cause any trouble. As for you, why do I feel that your hair has become so much whiter during the time I've been away? Find some time to go to the barber shop and dye it. Ling Xue said. Song Laohu touched his hair subconsciously. Hearing this, Lin Tian smacked his lips. Just dye it green. If you want to live a decent life, you must have something green on your head. I don't know why, but I feel like Song Laohu and the color green go well together. It's this rebellious son who causes trouble for me all the time. Some time ago, he almost. Well, let's not talk about it. You can arrange a blind date for him when you come back this time. He's not young anymore, so it's time to find someone to take care of him. Song Laohu glared at Song Chen, his face full of disappointment. Song Chen didn't dare to refute. He stood aside with his head down, like a quail. We'll talk about this later. After all, Song Chen's blind date is no small matter for our Song family. By the way, what's the driver's name? Why haven't I seen him before? Ling Xue pointed at Lin Tian. When she pointed, Song Laohu and Song Chen's eyes were focused on Lin Tian. Lin Tian smiled bitterly in his heart. Just chat with me, why mention me? I'm just a handyman. Could it be that Ling Xue wanted to tell that story? But Lin Tian is not a pushover. As long as Ling Xue dares to speak, he will bite back. At worst, they will all die together. His name is Lin Tian, and he is my follower now. Song Chen answered quickly. Lin Tian, this young man is sensible and drives well. And Ling Shua said calmly. Then let him pick you up and drop you off in the future. Song Lao Hu said. Lin Tian is indeed a good driver. Song Chen agreed. When Lin Tian heard this, his legs went weak. What? Come again. It was Song Lao who spoke up himself, asking why he felt that his head was not green enough and he had to turn into the Hulk to be satisfied. And you, Song Chen, why are you butting in on other people's business? You want a younger brother. If I really continue like this, I will become your father before long. You must think it through. That's it, I'm going to take a shower first. After saying that, and Ling Shua left. Song Lao who took out a set of car keys, his exclusive car, a Rolls-Royce Phantom, and personally handed it to Lin Tian. Work hard and don't let me down. He patted Lin Tian's shoulder. Do a good job. Lin Tian blushed after hearing this. When meeting someone like Ling Shua, these 3 words seemed to have changed their meaning. Okay, sir, I will do my best. Lin Tian nodded. He felt that the words, devote all one's energy to the cause, had also changed their meaning. Why should I devote myself to it? I will do my best to seduce your wife and try to add more members to your Song family so that you can experience the pleasure of having a child in old age. Lin Tian himself didn't dare to think further. Song Chen will go to the finance department later and ask them to transfer an extra 50,000 yuan to Lin Tian's salary card every month. Song Lao who gave the order. Song Chen nodded and looked at Lin Tian with admiration. Okay. The salary has been opened, but you still feel that you are not green enough. He wanted Lin Tian to speed him up and try to open up a HLBE grassland above his head. After leaving the Song family's gate, he drove Song Lao whose Rolls-Royce. Lin Tian felt that his life had reached its climax. You know, this Rolls-Royce is not simple. Someone else's Rolls-Royce, with a little golden man on the front of the car. In Kyoto, there is only one Rolls-Royce, owned by Song Lao Hu, and there is a golden tiger on the front of the car. Made of pure gold, professionally customized, luxurious and extravagant. As long as you see the golden tiger on the hood of this Rolls-Royce in Kyoto, anyone who has seen the world will know that Song Lao Hu has arrived. The fact that Song Lao Hu was willing to give this car to him showed that he had become even more important in Song Lao Hu's heart. But this sudden attention is really a bit puzzling. Don't think too much, just take it one step at a time. Lin Tian had just left the Song family when he received a call from Song Lao Hu. He said that something happened at home and he forgot to tell Lin Tian about it. Instruct Lin Tian to go to the airport to pick up a few more people tomorrow. Lin Tian agreed that everything would be fine as long as it didn't involve picking up Ling Shua. As soon as Song Lao Hu hung up the phone, Song Chen called Lin Tian again and told Lin Tian that he was going to hide outside for a while. Lin Tian's first reaction was that Song Chen had done something wrong again. After asking, I found out that it was because Song Lao Hu wanted to arrange a blind date for Song Chen. It was no use in Ling Shua's persuasion, Song Lao Hu was determined this time. Song Chen had no choice but to hide outside. As for why he called Lin Tian, it was because he wanted Lin Tian to help him keep an eye on Dong Yiyi. Don't let other men get too close to Dong Yiyi just because you're away for a few days. No, master, if something happens to Dong Yiyi, how should I contact you then? Lin Tian asked. I'll send you an address later. Remember not to tell my dad. Song Chen specifically instructed. The next day, Lin Tian went to the airport to pick someone up as requested by Song Lao Hu. This time, the people we picked up were a father and daughter. The man was probably in the same grade as Song Lao Hu. The woman was in her early 20s, wearing a light blue dress. She was extremely beautiful, with an exceptionally elegant temperament, and exuded a transcendent aura from her whole body. As soon as the girl left the airport, many people turned their heads to look at her, and they couldn't help but take a few more glances in her direction. Lin Tian drove the car in front of the 2 people, looked at the girl carefully, and his eyes suddenly focused. Because he found a heart-shaped birthmark on the girl's neck. Miao Shuya. This person is the second female character in the novel and one of the most dazzling women around Chen Fan. If this is Miao Shuya, then the man next to her is most likely Miao Shuya's father, Miao Jiulong, the leader of Jian Chen. Why did they come to Kyoto? Chapter 16 Miao Family Father and Daughter. Lin Tian couldn't help but feel a little confused, because in the novel, when Miao Shuya appeared, Chen Fan had already dealt with Dong Yiyi. At this point in time, it is not the right time for Miao Shuya to appear. Lin Tian boldly guessed, could this be Song Chen's blind date? Although there is no such passage in the novel, this possibility cannot be ruled out. Without asking too many questions, he took the two to the Song family first. Song Lao, who had been waiting in the living room for a long time and warmly welcomed the Miao father and daughter. Lin Tian stood aside, and from their conversation, he confirmed his guess that Miao Shuya was here for a blind date. Brother Miao, please wait a moment. I'll go call my son out so that the two children can meet each other. As they talked, Song Lao who got to the point. He took out his phone and called Song Chen. Beep beep beep. The line is busy. Song Chen had anticipated this day a long time ago, and there was no way Song Lao who could make the call. However, what Lin Tian couldn't understand was how Song Chen's train of thought worked. This Miao Shuya is no worse than that Dong Yiyi, both in terms of looks and background. It can be said that Miao Shuya is a top-notch existence, but he actually ran away to avoid a blind date. Song Lao who made a round of phone calls but failed to reach Song Chen, and his face gradually became gloomy. Song Chen disappeared and could not be found at the critical moment. The Miao family father and daughter came all their way here just for this marriage, and you, Song Chen, have played an empty city trick for your father. Bang! You bastard! Song Lao who grabbed the phone and smashed it to the ground. Brother Song, don't be anxious. Children have their own ideas when they grow up. Why don't we meet another day? Miao Jiulong suggested. To be honest, this incident has made both sides lose face. After all, Miao Jiulong is still a local leader. After all, he was a well-known figure and brought his own daughter, the apple of his eye, to a blind date, but in the end, he didn't even see her. As for Song Lao Hu, he is a giant in Kyoto, a man with connections and influence, and he is also a man who cares about his reputation. This matter is related to the reputation of their Song family. Brother Miao, please be patient. Today, even if I have to dig 3 feet deep into the ground, I will find that bastard and make you apologize. Song Lao who said, patting his chest. Then he looked at Lin Tian who was standing aside. Before Song Lao who could speak, Lin Tian decisively sold Song Chen out. Boss, I'll go find him right away. Don't worry, I will definitely bring the young master back. Lin Tian said. Miao Shuya on the side looked back at Lin Tian, feeling a little confused. Even Song Lao who couldn't find him, so how could Lin Tian, a driver, know where Song Chen was? Go! Song Lao who waved his hand. Lin Tian nodded and left the Song family, driving to the address Song Chen gave him before leaving. The car drove all the way to the border of Kyoto and then stopped in front of an entertainment club. From a distance, Lin Tian saw a naked man standing at the door, holding a piece of cardboard in his hand to cover his lower body. When he walked closer, he saw that the man was none other than Song Chen, who had caused a lot of chaos in the Song family. It was only a day later. What happened to Song Chen that made him stand on the street so meticulously? Mr. Song! Lin Tian quickly took off his coat and attacked Song Chen. Song Chen saw that Lin Tian was so excited that he almost shed tears. Mr. Song, what are you doing? Don't fucking say that. I lost all my underwear yesterday. Why didn't you call me? They lost the phone call, too. You just squatted at the door all night. What can I do? This isn't my dad's territory. It's no use mentioning my dad. What Song Chen said was right. This place is almost as dry as Kyoto, and Song Lao whose hands are not that long. Lin Tian was speechless for a while. Song Chen, this playboy, was no joke. If Song Lao who knew that Song Chen lost so much and had to squat naked at someone's door for the whole night, he would be so angry that he would have a heart attack. Let's not talk about this for now. Lin Tian, do you have any money on you? I haven't had a drop of water since last night. I'm almost starving to death. Song Chen asked. Have to. There's no rush to go back now, so let us get Song Chen some clothes. If we go back like this, and the two people from the Miao family see us, it will be a big trouble. He got Song Chen a set of clothes and took him to eat a bowl of Lanju ramen. After packing up, she wanted to take Song Chen back home, but when Song Chen heard about the blind date, he immediately became unwilling. Let's go quickly, it's better to go back and take a look. Blind date is not marriage. Lin Tian advised. Lin Tian, go back and tell the old man that I only love Dong Yiyi in this life, and no other woman can touch me. Song Chen said, patting his chest. Then I'll go back and tell the old man that I haven't seen you. Lin Tian turned around and was about to leave. The next second, Song Chen called Lin Tian with courage. If Lin Tian left like this, he would never be able to go back, as he didn't even have money for a taxi. Let's go in and redeem my phone first. We can't lose it. Song Chen said. Lin Tian shook his head and followed Song Chen to the entertainment club. Song Chen found a man in the club's dance hall with ease. When he found the man, he was drinking. The man was surrounded by beautiful women, hugging each other in his arms, and was drinking happily. It's him. He's the one who gave him my phone. Song Chen pointed at the man and said. Friend, please give me some face and name a price. I want to redeem that phone. Lin Tian said calmly. The fact that this person dared to take Song Chen's cell phone shows that he is not very familiar with the Song family in Kyoto, otherwise he would not have the courage to do so. As for the money for redeeming the phone, Song Chen promised to reimburse Lin Tian when he returned. The guy opposite me also looked like a second-generation rich man, and he had almost finished drinking. He staggered and took out the Song family's specially customized mobile phone from his arms. You mentioned this thing. I want to ask why I should give you face. The man sneered. After all, he is a well-known figure. Two guys who came from nowhere are asking him to give face. His face is so worthless. Bang! The man sneered and put the phone into the wine glass in front of Lin Tian and Song Chen. Cow, you want to die? Song Chen yelled, picked up the wine bottle on the table and smashed it on the man's head. Snap! The wine bottle exploded instantly, glass splattered everywhere, and the female companions next to the man were frightened and screamed. The dance hall suddenly exploded into chaos. That phone is waterproof, why are you so excited? Lin Tian rolled his eyes at Song Chen. I just can't stand his arrogance. Song Chen threw away the half-broken quality in his hand. How dare you hit me? The man crawled out from under the table, covering his head, blood flowing out from between his fingers. Don't let them run away. As soon as the man finished speaking, people from all directions began to approach Lin Tian and the other man. Walk. Without time to think, Lin Tian took out the cell phone that was soaked in the wine glass and walked out the door with Song Chen. Who knew that so many people in the dance hall were that man's men? More than 30 strong men blocked Lin Tian and the other man in a corner in a short time. At the critical moment, Lin Tian quickly pressed a hidden button on the back of the Song family's special mobile phone. In Kyoto, in the Song family villa, Song Lao Hu's cell phone suddenly vibrated. When he looked closely, his pupils contracted instantly. Oh no, Lin Tian and Song Chen are in danger. Song Lao Hu sat up from the sofa. Miao Julong and his daughter's faces changed when they heard this. That blind man actually dared to touch anyone from our Song family. And Ling Xue shouted sternly. And Ling Xue's expression was grim, and a piercing cold light flashed across her eyes. Chapter 17. Something happened. Ling Xue, don't get excited. I'll send someone over right away. The address has been sent to you. Song Lao, who had never seen Ling Xue like this before. How can I not be excited? And Ling Xue said coldly. Nonsense, how could she not be excited when Qin Qian was in danger? If anything happens to Qin Qian, who will drive with her in the future? No, it should be her driving. If I had known that Song Chen would be in danger, I shouldn't have let Qin Qian go to find him. Madam, calm down. As long as you are in Kyoto, you must trust Brother Song. Song Chen will be fine. Miao Julong also advised. Although Ling Xue is Song Chen's stepmother, this incident shows how much Ling Xue loves Song Chen. It is not an exaggeration to say that they treat her as their own daughter. It is also a blessing for the Song family that Brother Song can find such a wife. Yes, Ling Xue, this is Kyoto. No one dares to make trouble when I, Song Hu, am here. I will go there myself to see who is so bold as to not take me, Song Hu, seriously. Song Lao, who was also quite relieved. He felt that Ling Xue really treated Song Chen as a family member, otherwise she wouldn't be so excited when she heard that Song Chen was in danger. Let's all go over and see who dares to cause trouble in Kyoto. And Ling Shue suggested. At this time, she kept thinking of Qin Qian in her heart, praying that nothing would happen to Qin Qian. Qin Qian is a ray of hope that finally appears in my boring life. Could it be that God is so cruel to me? How can she keep company during the long night? What should she do without Qin Qian? As for Song Chen's safety, forget it. And Ling Shue doesn't have the time to worry about him. He is not her son. Song Lao, who nodded in agreement, and several people immediately gathered their men and rushed to the address sent by Qin Qian. In the dance hall, all outsiders have been cleared out. In the huge dance hall, only the people sitting opposite Qin Qian and Song Chen were left. Qin Qian and Song Chen are weak and alone, so it is obviously wise for them to confront the opponent head-on at this moment, because there are more than 30 people on the opposite side. Catch them both. The beaten man walked up to the two men angrily. Waved his hand. A big man rushed forward and locked Qin Qian and Song Chen from behind. Kid, you have to think about the consequences of attacking me. There are some people you can't afford to mess with. You may not know who I am, but I guarantee that if I say my name you will be scared to death. If you dare to touch me today, I will make you lie in bed for half your life. Song Chen remained unyielding and hoped to intimidate the other party through verbal attacks. Doesn't he know that the other party doesn't know you at all? If he knew you, he wouldn't dare to take your phone. Saying this at this time is simply like looking for death. It would have been better if Song Chen hadn't said it. As soon as he said this, the man he hit suddenly changed his expression. He rushed forward and slapped Song Chen in the face with his backhand. You two, one of you is yours today. I have to make sure you are comfortable today. Qin Qian, who was standing aside, looked at the thugs who were eyeing him eagerly and immediately broke out in a cold sweat. You said it wasn't me who hit you. Wasn't it enough for you to teach Song Chen a lesson? Why did you have to include him as well? But there is no way, after all, he is Song Chen's younger brother now. I don't think you dare. Who the hell are you? Come on and try to touch me. Song Chen was still not convinced after being slapped. Bang! There was a muffled sound, and this time the man punched Song Chen in the lower abdomen. Song Chen opened his mouth wide, his eyeballs popped out like light bulbs, and his face was twisted in pain. You can imagine how powerful this punch was. Even Qin Qian, who was standing by, felt a chill on his back when he saw it. No. We can't just sit there and wait for death. The man had dealt with Song Chen, and he was the next one. Qin Qian didn't want to be beaten. You're a bunch of rotten fish and shrimp, come at me if you dare. Qin Qian roared. The sound echoed in the ballroom like a big bell being struck. For a moment, everyone's eyes were focused on Qin Qian. Song Chen turned his head and looked at Qin Qian, shedding tears of emotion. Time reveals a person's true character. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Qin Qian couldn't stand up at this time, which showed that Qin Qian was sincere to himself. She can't bear to see herself suffer any injustice. What more could she ask for in her life than to have such a loyal and righteous person following her? The man turned his head and looked at Qin Qian coldly. Oh, there really is someone who is not afraid of death. I will loosen up your muscles right now. Har har, do you know who he is? How dare you attack him? Do you know the consequences of attacking him? Qin Qian said neither humbly nor arrogantly. I don't care who he is. Today, even if he is the king of heaven, I will still deal with him. The man frowned. Qin Qian raised his head, glanced at Song Chen and then at the man, with a kind of pride in his eyes, like a soldier who was about to sacrifice. Listen carefully, you are not worthy of taking action against him. You have no idea how powerful his background is. If you knew his identity, you would probably kneel down in front of him, call him dad, and beg him to forgive you. If he gets into an accident or gets hurt today, you will regret it for the rest of your life. As soon as Qin Qian said these words, if Song Chen hadn't been locked up, he would have couldn't help but give Qin Qian a thumbs up. Every word touched Song Chen's heart. This is what it means to be a friend in need of adversity. Well said. Song Chen couldn't help but say. You're so spicy. The man slapped Song Chen in the face. During this short period of time, Song Chen was slapped 3 times in the face, and half of his face was swollen like a pig's head. Didn't you say that I can't afford to offend him? Didn't you say that if he hits him, he'll regret it for the rest of his life? Boy, today I will let you see with your own eyes how I deal with him. I will let you see it all at once. See if I dare or not, see if I have the guts or not. The man was angered by Qin Qian's words. Bang bang bang. The slaps hit Song Chen's face like raindrops. The dance hall was filled with the sound of crisp applause, like frying beans. Song Chen was stunned. Why are you hitting me again? Didn't Qin Qian stand up to share the firepower for me? Why doesn't this guy in front of him hit Qin Qian? But he was stubborn and insisted on arguing with me. He vaguely felt that there was something wrong with what Qin Qian had just said, but Song Chen couldn't tell what was wrong. What I hate most in my life is people who threaten me. The man stopped beating because he was tired. See? I beat the guy, what can he do to me? The man boasted to Qin Qian proudly. Song Chen, who was standing aside, was beaten so hard that Song Lao who could not recognize his face. His whole face was swollen like a freshly steamed bun, and there was a trace of saliva at the corner of his mouth. Damn, Mr. Song, how are you? Qin Qian asked quickly. It hurts, it hurts. Song Chen could no longer utter complete sentences. Mr. Song, you must hold on. It is never too late for a gentleman to take revenge. You will definitely give him many times the punch you received today. He attacked you because he didn't know your identity. If he knew, he wouldn't dare to attack you even if he had 8 times the courage. Qin Qian was unyielding. Chapter 18 Adding fuel to the fire. Song Chen nodded to Lin Tian with difficulty, meaning that he agreed with what Lin Tian said. These words undoubtedly added fuel to the fire for the man. I've beaten you like this, and you're still being stubborn. It seems like I have to give you something powerful. Bang bang bang. The man started again, raining fists down on Song Chen's stomach. Song Chen screamed in agony. A flying kick. Kicked Song Chen in the face. TSK TSK TSK. Lin Tian couldn't bear to watch it any longer. This person would be too cruel if he didn't take action. Fortunately, he didn't try to deal with him, otherwise he might not be able to resist. 10 minutes later, Song Chen fainted. The man finally stopped, sat down on the chair panting, picked up a glass of beer and drank it down. What should we do, boss? Asked the man's men. You guys handle it. I'm tired. The man waved his hand, and his thugs walked towards Song Chen with clenched fists. Lin Tian frowned. This was not a solution. Although he was fine, Song Chen would be in trouble sooner or later if he continued to be tortured like this. Since coming to this world, Lin Tian has always been using his power to bully others. Who was his powerful figure? First it was Song Lao Hu, and then it was Song Chen. If Song Chen really died, even if Song Lao Hu would not blame himself, he would not let Lin Tian rely on his power again. So no matter how badly Song Chen was treated, Lin Tian couldn't let him be beaten to death. Listen carefully, his father is Song Lao Hu from Kyoto. If you don't know what kind of existence he is, you can ask your elders. Lin Tian shouted. The people who were fighting heard this roar and were stunned where they were. Although they had never seen Song Chen or Song Lao Hu. However, they had heard a little about the reputation of Song Lao Hu in Kyoto. Song Lao Hu. The man who beat Song Chen also hesitated. He was not a frequent visitor to Kyoto, and his visit to Kyoto was just a coincidence. Before leaving, his family reminded him that he could offend anyone in Kyoto, but he had to give some face to Song Lao Hu. Not for any other reason, just because Song Lao Hu is the local emperor of Kyoto. Young master, what should we do? The thugs panicked. If what Lin Tian said was true, they would probably not be able to leave Kyoto after beating Song Lao Hu's son like this. Don't panic. If he says yes, then it's true. Who knows if he is just using Song Lao Hu's name to scare people? The man was still calm. Now that things have come to this, he should be calmer. After hearing this, everyone calmed down temporarily. This situation was not impossible. Behave yourself, kid. Do you think we can be fooled? A thug next to the man pulled out a dagger and put it against Lin Tian's neck. The leading man glanced at Lin Tian, a trace of contempt flashing in his eyes. He didn't believe that the eldest son of the Song family would come back to this place. You have to know that Song Chen lost all his money here yesterday and was thrown out and made to squat at the door all night. How could the son of the great Song Lao Hu be so cheap? Don't believe it? I have something here that proves his identity. Lin Tian shook his arms and broke free from the man behind him. He took out the Song family's special mobile phone and placed the golden tiger on the back in front of everyone. Look carefully, this is the symbol of his identity. There are only 3 of these phones in Kyoto, and the other one is in the hands of Song Lao-hu. Lin Tian said in a serious tone. Everyone looked at each other in bewilderment. The man who beat the others stared at the golden tiger on the phone and took out his own phone to verify it. After the man finished the call, his face suddenly became gloomy. Now he knew the truth of the matter. He glared at Lin Tian and his expression became frightened. Why didn't you say it earlier? Lin Tian knew that his power had already been built up, so there was no need to swallow his anger any longer. After knowing Song Chen's identity, the people on the opposite side were obviously afraid of Song Lao-hu's power. Lin Tian entered into a familiar phase again. Take advantage of the situation to put pressure on others. Weren't you very arrogant just now? Come and attack me. If you are not afraid of death, come here. Lin Tian took a step forward. The man's thugs then took a step back and looked at Lin Tian with a complicated look. If the man they just beat was really Song Lao-hu's son, Lin Tian might also be Song Lao-hu's confidant. After beating his son, he has to deal with his confidants, unless they are tired of living. Bang! Lin Tian walked up to Song Chen and slapped the thug in the face. Don't let go of my young master, you bastard! Everyone was stunned. Lin Tian actually dared to take action. In front of their 30 thugs, and also their young master. This is too much of a disregard for them. The thug who was beaten let go of Song Chen and looked at Lin Tian in shock with his hands covering his face. The others just stared at each other, and no one dared to step forward to help. What's going on? More than 30 thugs watched Lin Tian, a follower, being so arrogant and did not dare to say a word afterwards. As soon as the thugs let go, Song Chen sat down on the ground and woke up from his coma. Watching Lin Tian confront more than 30 thugs alone, Song Chen's eyes, which were swollen like goldfish, were filled with disbelief. It's not me who's going to deal with us, come on. Lin Tian glanced at the whole place with cold eyes. Extremely arrogant and domineering. Weren't you very arrogant just now? Now show me how arrogant you are. Lin Tian said as he started to fight. Bang! He slapped a thug standing next to him in the face. If I say you won't be able to leave Kyoto, then I will make sure you won't be able to leave Kyoto. Lin Tian said. Bang! Another slap, on another thug. Why don't you ask about what the Song family is like and who Song Lao-hu is in Kyoto? Lin Tian said. Bang! One word equals a slap in the face, and one slap in the face replaces a person. If you don't give me and young Master Song an explanation today, I promise that you will live a life worse than death for the rest of your life. Bang 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 bang. Deadly chain palms. Lin Tian's hand was hurt from the beating, and his entire palm was red. There were more than 30 thugs, and each of them was slapped by Lin Tian, a total of more than 30 slaps. He fought throughout the entire venue and no one dared to fight back. How arrogant were they? The person who was beaten. Keep your head down. They only dared to spy on Lin Tian out of the corner of their eyes. The more arrogant Lin Tian became, the more frightened they felt. Song Chen watched this scene from the ground, his swollen mouth twitching and tears welling up in his eyes. I have suffered so much injustice, and finally I can let out a sigh of relief. He raised his hand with difficulty and tremblingly gave Lin Tian a thumbs up. Well done, Lin Tian. At this moment, he even forgot the pain and watched Lin Tian hitting the man on the other side without daring to fight back. It was as if he was there himself, and he vented out all the anger in his heart. Who else? Lin Tian waved his arms and roared. More than 30 men, including the man, subconsciously took a step back. Unstoppable, unstoppable. I'm scared, I'm really scared. Is this someone from the Song family? Too arrogant. This time they stabbed me in the butt with a knife, which opened their eyes. Chapter 19. Who else? Lin Tian looked around at the crowd and knew that these people had been suppressed by the momentum he had created. Even if they were given 8 courages, they would not dare to attack themselves, so their arrogance would be over. I just want to ask you who else is there. When Song Chen saw this scene, he felt that he was able to do it, so he stood up by holding onto the wall. He staggered to Lin Tian's side and held Lin Tian's shoulder with one hand. His right hand remained in the thumbs-up gesture and stretched out in front of Lin Tian. Lin Tian is awesome, worthy of being my follower. Song Chen said tremblingly. He forced himself to look good in front of everyone. But in the eyes of those thugs, Song Chen beside Lin Tian was more like a follower. He had to bear all the beatings, and Lin Tian was the only one who acted cool. It's really cheap to force yourself to come out and find a way to show off. My friend, this could be a misunderstanding. My dad will be here soon and will explain it to you. The man felt a little panicked. Misunderstanding? Lin Tian snorted coldly. You beat Song Chen like this, and you told me it was a misunderstanding. Let Song Lao Hu see if it was a misunderstanding. If I break your legs and then tell you that this is all a misunderstanding, would you be willing? Lin Tian said coldly. Friends meet each other all the time. Even if his father is Song Lao Hu, my father is not a pushover. The man frowned. The man's family was no ordinary family either, but their influence was no longer in Kyoto. Bang! Lin Tian reached out and slapped the man in the face. In Kyoto, is your father qualified to compete with Mr. Song? Does your father have the strength to challenge Mr. Song? What is arrogance? This is called arrogance. Lin Tianxai didn't have time to engage in verbal abuse like the protagonist Chen Fan in the novel before taking action. When you want to take action, do it directly without any hesitation. This is what a villain's henchman should do. You. The man covered his face and stared at Lin Tian with wide eyes. You have to know that even his own father has never slapped him in the face since he was a child. It would have been fine if he had just been beaten by Song Chen, but he was also beaten by one of Song Chen's followers. The key is that I don't dare to fight back and have to wait for my father to come out and deal with the matter. The 30-odd bodyguards looked at each other in bewilderment. After following the man for such a long time, this was the first time they saw him swallowing his anger. Well done, beautifully. Song Chen on the side raised his thumb again. Crash. As soon as the words fell, 5 people hurriedly walked into the ballroom. The leader was a middle-aged man with a Mediterranean hairstyle and a pair of gold-rimmed glasses. He was not tall, but had a pair of frighteningly cold eyes. Behind him followed 4 burly bodyguards, all wearing black suits and sunglasses. Dad, the man shouted towards the Mediterranean. Shut up, I don't have a son like you. Mediterranean scolded. Song Chen felt that these words were so familiar, as if Song Lao Hu had also said the same thing when he was teaching him a lesson. After teaching his son a lesson, Mighty looked at Lin Tian again. You were the one who slapped my son in the face. Mediterranean asked coldly. As soon as Mediterranean said this, there was a sudden roar of a car engine outside the dance hall. Then a group of people rushed into the dance hall, and 4 people walked out from the crowd, led by none other than Song Lao Hu from Kyoto. Good fight. Song Lao Hu shouted as he came in. Where is my son? Song Lao Hu asked in a deep voice. Dad, here. Song Chen staggered towards Song Lao Hu. If he hadn't heard Song Chen's voice, Song Lao Hu would never have thought that the man in front of him was his son. It was so tragic, his whole face was covered with bruises and swollen like a pig's head. When Song Lao Hu saw Song Chen's miserable condition, a layer of murderous intent suddenly filled his pupils. Song Hu. Mediterranean's face turned ugly. Zhao Dezhu, you are going too far. Song Hu roared. Lin Tian, who was standing by, felt the name was familiar to him. Zhao Dezhu, I can handle it. When Lin Tian looked at Zhao Dezhu again, he found that this person was almost exactly the same as described in the novel. Especially the iconic Mediterranean Sea, Lin Tian suddenly remembered everything about it. He secretly thought that if he couldn't subdue someone like Zhao Dezhu, he would destroy him. We must not let him fall into Chen Fan's hands, otherwise there will be endless trouble. Dad, if you had come a little later, Lin Tian and I would have been finished. Song Chen cried, tears and snot streaming down his face. Although Song Chen is not very ambitious, he is still the son of Song Lao Hu after all. Seeing his son being beaten like this, how could a father not be angry? At this time, no one noticed that except Song Lao Hu, the other people's eyes were on Lin Tian. Especially in Ling Xue's expression was extremely obvious, her eyes were fixed on Lin Tian. What made them curious was why Lin Tian was not hurt at all while Song Chen was beaten like this. When Lin Tian found Song Chen, was it true that Song Chen had already been beaten like this? No matter what, the matter of Zhao Dezhu cannot be let go. Zhao Dezhu, our 2 families have nothing to do with each other. I welcome you to come to Kyoto, but you must give me an explanation for beating my son. Song Lao, who was as powerful as a tiger, but yet he was intimidating. Even Miao Julong is here. Zhao Deju's face turned pale. Now it's 2 against 1, and the other team is playing at home, so the advantage is not on his side. At this time, he could only remain silent and think of a way to get out of this predicament. Lin Tian, come here and tell me what's going on. And Ling Shue shouted at Lin Tian. Chapter 20. The Bosses Meet. Lin Tian walked up to Ling Shue and told her roughly what had just happened. Song Lao, who and the others also understood most of what Lin Tian said. Song Chen's cell phone is still with you, right? And Ling Shue took advantage of no one's attention and reached into Lin Tian's trouser pocket. Oh shit! The moment Ling Shue's hand reached for Lin Tian's pocket, Lin Tian's body trembled violently and goosebumps appeared all over his body. And Ling Shue, just take the phone, can you please keep your hands off touching other things? The key is that there are so many people standing nearby. Song Lao, who is standing right in front of you. You are not afraid of anything happening. Although this action seems harmless, who knows what is happening in the pocket? Lin Tian retreated repeatedly and escaped from the clutches of this goblin. And Ling Shue also took out her cell phone and handed Song Chen's cell phone to Song Lao, who. Everything seems so natural, only Lin Tian and Ling Shue know the mystery. In fact, Miao Shuya on the side also noticed it. She just felt a little strange about Lin Tian's reaction. It's just a cell phone, why did this follower react so strongly? Is there some secret hidden in his pocket? As the saying goes, curiosity kills the cat. At this moment, Miao Shuya became very interested in Lin Tian's pocket. I also want to reach my hand in and see what's inside. You just heard from your men that your son was the first to start this. Both parties are at fault. Song Lao, who, our two forces are so far apart that we still meet each other every day. I hope you won't make a big deal out of it. Zhao Deju said in a serious tone. What you mean is that your son beat my son like this, and I still have to apologize to you. Song Lao, whose voice was cold. That's not what I meant. I just hope you can handle this matter fairly. Zhao Deju replied. The two forces are ready to go, and just a spark could detonate them. Master, don't they want justice? Why don't we swap positions? I'm willing to go up and get hit by that kid and ask him to hand over his son so that I can slap him hundreds of times. Lin Tian echoed from the side. Hearing this, Zhao Deju's face darkened and he couldn't help but look at Lin Tian a few more times. Did you hear that? This is the fairness you want. Are you willing, Zhao Deju? Song Lao, who remained serious. Zhao Deju, your men were too harsh. Look at what happened to young Master Song. Miao Julong also said. Zhao Deju glanced at Song Chen and felt a little sorry for him. He could only be described as a miserable person. He turned his head and glared at his son angrily. Look at what you've done. Why didn't you use your brain when you did it? If it was just a slap in the face, it would be easy to deal with, but now the Zhao family is at a disadvantage both morally and logically. Dad, I don't want this to happen either. Young Master Zhao looked aggrieved. He originally just wanted to teach Lin Tian and Song Chen a lesson and let them kneel down and apologize. But he didn't know why. Every word Lin Tian said hurt his lungs. He couldn't help but attack Song Chen. Lin Tian said he couldn't afford to offend Song Chen. Master Zhao slapped him in the face to prove that he could afford to offend. Lin Tian said that Mr. Zhao would kneel down and apologize when he knew Song Chen's identity. Master Zhao slapped Song Chen in the face to prove that he was not afraid of him at all. Lin Tian said that he would regret beating Song Chen for the rest of his life. Master Zhao slapped him again to prove that he would not regret it. But is there anything wrong with what Lin Tian said? Now that I think about it, there doesn't seem to be any problem, except that Lin Tian's tone was a little arrogant. All the slaps fell on Song Chen's face. What Lin Tian said made him so angry. Why should he prove himself to Lin Tian? Young Master Zhao was stuck in a rut and couldn't figure it out. Bang! Seeing his son's foolishness, Zhao Deju slapped him in the face. Waste! Snap! Zhao Deju, you don't have to act in front of me. You can't leave today. Zhao Deju looked up and saw an M1917 Smith Wesson rifle made in the United States. The silver revolver pointed directly at Zhao Deju. Everyone in the audience was silent, obviously knowing that Song Lao who was really angry. Song Lao who, don't scare me. I, Zhao Deju, am not one to be scared. Let's just talk about the facts. If you just want an explanation, just state your demands directly without resorting to knives or guns, Zhao Dezhu said in a deep voice. He concluded that Song Lao Hu would not take action. If Song Lao Hu dared to shoot today, it would cause an endless fight between the two forces of Kyoto and Tianxia. As the saying goes, when the snipe and the clam fight, the fisherman benefits. If two people quarrel, the other person will definitely benefit in the end. But this matter has to be resolved. Brother Song, calm down. Miao Jiulong also advised, reaching out his hand to press the revolver down. This matter is far from as simple as imagined, and the big guys are not thinking about the things at hand when they are playing games. Song Lao, whose eyes were flashing and no one knew what he was thinking. Is there any way for me to vent my anger, regain face for my son, and ensure that the two sides do not reach the point of a fight to the death? Humph, you are worthy of negotiating terms with our old man. Just when the two sides were in a stalemate, a voice rang out. Miao Shuyer was dumbfounded. Lin Tian was too bold. Not only did he call Zhao Dezhu by his name, he also scolded him. A smile flashed across Ling Xue's lips. He was indeed the man she had chosen. At this time, only Lin Tian dared to stand up. Song Lao Hu and Miao Jiulong also looked at Lin Tian, wondering what Lin Tian would do next. Lin Tian walked towards Zhao Dezhu, grabbed Zhao Dezhu's son by the collar and pulled him away from Zhao Dezhu. The bodyguard behind Zhao Dezhu frowned and was about to take action, but was stopped by Zhao Dezhu. Bang! Lin Tian slapped Mr. Zhao in the face. If you slap our young master 300 times, I will break your son's arm. This is the explanation our master wants. Lin Tian scolded. When these words were spoken, everyone was shocked. Is Lin Tian serious about this? Plop! Master Zhao knelt on the ground, his face full of horror. I was wrong. I was really wrong. I really didn't know he was Song Hu's son. Please don't break my arm. Our Zhao family can compensate you until you are satisfied. He was really frightened by Lin Tian and turned to his father Zhao Dezhu for help. Zhao Dezhu couldn't bear it anymore and was about to speak when Song Lao Hu raised the revolver again. Bang! Chapter 21 Cut off your arm. Everyone's heart was in their throat, not knowing whether Lin Tian would really do it. Isn't he afraid? That's Zhao Dezhu's son. Miao Shuyer covered her mouth and stared at the stick in Lin Tian's hand. Zhao Dezhu closed his eyes, not daring to watch this scene. Snap! Lin Tian lifted the steel pipe and dropped it down high. The crisp sound of broken bones was heard, accompanied by Mr. Zhao's screams, echoing in the dance hall. Throwing away the steel pipe in his hand, Lin Tian also let Master Zhao go. Master Zhao collapsed to the ground and rolled over. Lin Tian had a blank expression on his face, as if this matter was nothing to him. He really did it. Miao Shuyer screamed, but the sound was not very loud because she was covering her mouth. Song Chen gave Lin Tian a thumbs up again. There was a hint of a smile on Ling Xue's lips, as if the moment Lin Tian interrupted Master Zhao, her whole person was sublimated. That coldness and determination seemed to be the innate temperament of the man in front of him. Master, what do you think of this explanation? Lin Tian asked Song Lao Hu. Song Lao Hu didn't say anything, but just nodded, with a gleam in his pupils, as if he had discovered a treasure. Zhao Dezhu went up to help his son up and looked at Lin Tian with resentment. Kid, what happened today? Shut up, you have no right to speak here. Just as Zhao Dezhu was about to speak, he was interrupted by Lin Tian's scolding. Zhao Dezhu was dumbfounded. Song Lao Hu's men were so arrogant that they cut off one of his son's arms and didn't let him speak. My young master and the old man are very generous. If this incident happened 10 years later, I guarantee that you, the Zhao family, will not be able to leave this dance hall. Lin Tian said. Zhao Dezhu calmed down immediately. Song Lao Hu would abdicate sooner or later, and Song Chen was Song Lao Hu's only son. If this matter is not handled properly, how will Song Chen treat the Zhao family when he comes to power 10 years later? What will be the outcome if the hatred that has accumulated for 10 years explodes? Although Tianxia is big, it is not as big as Kyoto. According to Song Lao Hu, he wants to kill his son today. Zhao Dezhu couldn't imagine that Lin Tian was so decisive. In fact, he was also trying to save their Zhao family. Amazing. This subordinate of Song Lao Hu is extraordinary. He can already predict what will happen 10 years later just from a small matter. I'll remember what happened today. Song Lao Hu will meet again in the future. After saying this, Zhao Dezhu left the dance hall with the people around him. Song Lao who did not stop them and ordered his servants to make way. He gained face and got revenge. For Song Chen, this incident was also a lesson for him. When Zhao Dezhu was about to walk out of the dance hall, he looked back at Lin Tian. If the Zhao family had such a person to assist, there would be no need to worry about not achieving great things. He also realized the reason why Lin Tian dared to talk to him like this today. Lin Tian understood that the person standing behind him was Song Lao Hu. With the addition of Miao Julong, Lin Tian took advantage of the situation and turned himself from a small character into a mountain pressing down on them. After you go back, investigate all the information about that person and report it to me. I want to know what he likes and what his hobbies are. Zhao Dezhu instructed the people around him. Dad, are you planning to take action against him to avenge me? Asked Master Zhao. Bang! Another slap. Young Master Zhao received 4 slaps in one day. You bastard, how could I give birth to a retard like you? Zhao Dezhu cursed angrily, feeling disappointed in his child. Is he going to deal with Lin Tian? He is preparing to poach people. Whatever Song Lao Hu can give to Lin Tian, Zhao Dezhu can also give to him. What is the most important thing in the 21st century? What a talent! There is no point in saying anything now, this is not our territory. Even though Zhao Dezhu was unhappy, he could only swallow it. With his son and men, Zhao Dezhu left Kyoto without looking back. As soon as Zhao Dezhu left, only people from the Song family were left in the dance hall. Song Lao Hu walked straight up to Lin Tian and patted him on the shoulder. You did a good job today. I will reward you later. Song Lao Hu was quite positive about Lin Tian's performance today. Boss, this is what I should do. Lin Tian replied respectfully. Dad, you don't know that if it weren't for Brother Chen, you might not have seen me today. Don't be stingy when you give rewards, or you will hurt Brother Chen's feelings. Song Chen echoed from the side. He was convinced today, especially the scene where Lin Tian slapped the other person. More than 30 thugs didn't dare to make a sound. Song Lao Hu glared at Song Chen, and even called his brother Chen. Are you Lin Tian's follower, or is Lin Tian your follower? Besides, what does this mean? Are you teaching your father how to do things? You guys go out first. Song Chen, I want to talk to you alone. Song Lao Hu's face changed. Dad, can we go back and talk? My face hurts so much. Song Chen begged. No. Song Lao Hu shouted. After all, this incident was caused by Song Chen. If you had just stayed at home and went on a blind date honestly, would something like this have happened? I invited you here from far away, and you just left without saying a word. You made the Miao father and daughter wait for half a day, and when they found you, you were beaten like this. Song Lao Hu is a man who cares about his reputation. Isn't this making a fool of himself for outsiders? Don't be so angry. If you have anything to say, just tell Song Chen nicely. As long as he's fine, it's fine. He doesn't come here because he doesn't want to go on a blind date. And Ling Shua advised. It would be better if you didn't try to persuade her, but once you do, it's just adding fuel to the fire. You rebellious son, open your eyes and look. Your stepmother was so scared when she heard that you were in trouble. Now she is still protecting you. Do you think you are worthy of your stepmother? Song Lao Hu scolded. And Ling Shua curled her lips. Are you scared out of your wits because of him? You might be overthinking it. She is worried that something might happen to Lin Tian. Okay, you and your son can chat first. I'll let Lin Tian take me back. It's the same every day. After saying this, and Ling Shua turned around and left, and gave Lin Tian a wink. This scene was seen by Miao Shuyer who was standing by. Being very smart, she could tell at a glance that something was definitely going on. Lin Tian and Ling Shua walked out of the dance hall, and Miao Shuyer slipped into the monitoring room of the entertainment club when no one was paying attention. Arriving at the parking lot behind the entertainment club, Lin Tian opened the back door for Ling Shua in advance. If you want, you have to sit in the passenger seat. And Ling Shua acted like a child, opened the passenger door and got in. Lin Tian smiled bitterly in his heart. Something was bound to happen if this goblin entered the passenger seat. But I couldn't just stop here and not leave, so I gritted my teeth and sat in the driver's seat. As soon as I put my hand on the handbrake, I felt a warm touch on the back of my hand. And Ling Shua placed her hand on the back of Lin Tian's hand and looked at Lin Tian with a smile. No way, here it comes again. Bang. Lin Tian slapped him. Hum. And Ling Xue bit her red lips and let out a soft moan. There was a gleam of excitement in his eyes. He looked like he was enjoying it very much. He held Lin Tian's hand even tighter. The other hand also reached out to Lin Tian and hugged Lin Tian's waist. Stretch your neck. Take a sip. It was imprinted on Lin Tian's neck. Lin Tian felt the suction coming from his neck. I stood up with goosebumps all over my body. He pushed Ling Xue away. With a bang. And Ling Xue's back hit the car door with a dull thud. Finished. This is being entangled. You should also choose a place at the beginning. You're crazy. Song Lao, who is still inside, and Song Lao, whose men are everywhere around us. Lin Tian shouted angrily. Chapter 22, Playing Bigger. In the car. Lin Tian glared at Ling Xue. If this were seen by someone and word got to Song Lao whose ears, it wouldn't be solved by just cutting off one set of arms. As the saying goes, men are like limbs, women are like clothes, limbs can be cut at will, but clothes cannot be messed up. And Ling Xue is not afraid, but Lin Tian is. But the more Lin Tian said this, the more excited Ling Xue seemed. She licked her red lips, not caring at all about Lin Tian's rough behavior. I like you like this. The more you treat me like this, the more I like you. And Ling Xue's eyes became blurred. He stretched out his hand and wandered over Lin Tian's thighs, and Lin Tian quickly clamped his legs together. Who can resist this? Isn't this asking Lin Tian to commit a crime? Can you change someone? I haven't lived enough. Lin Tian took Ling Xue's hand that was placed on his leg. I have decided on you for my life. Lin Tian, you were so handsome in there just now. The hot air from Ling Xue's mouth sprayed on Lin Tian's face. Okay, let's stop it now. Lin Tian trapped Ling Xue with a safety belt. At this moment, he just wanted to leave here quickly. It was too dangerous with so many people from the Song family here. With a step on the accelerator, Lin Tian sped away. At this moment, in the monitoring room of the club, a young girl was looking at the surveillance camera in front of her with her hand holding her mouth. The camera on one of the screens was facing where Lin Tian parked his car. Miao Shuyer saw clearly what happened in Lin Tian's car just now. Lin Tian and Ling Xue. One is Song Chen's follower, and the other is Song Lao, whose concubine. These two people are so brave, aren't they afraid of being found out? Judging from the actions of the two people in the video, Lin Tian still seemed a little resistant. And this and Ling Xue actually took the initiative to attack, which surprised Miao Shuyer a little. Could it be that Uncle Song can't satisfy Anton? Come to think of it, and Ling Xue and Song Lao, who are at least 30 years apart in age. Old man, young wife. It's normal to feel lonely sometimes. But her man is no ordinary man, he is Song Hu, the tiger of Kyoto. Shuyer, what are you doing? Come out quickly, we are leaving. Miao Jiulong's voice was heard from outside the monitoring room. Miao Shuyer paused. This video was downloaded to the mobile phone at an extremely fast speed. Then completely delete the original surveillance video in the computer. Holding the phone tightly, Miao Shuyer's eyes flickered. Now, all that was in her mind was the scene where Lin Tian confronted Zhao Dezhu in the dance hall and broke his son's arm in front of Zhao Dezhu. Maybe this Lin Tian can help me in the future, and the thing in my hand is the reason that will force Lin Tian to help me. When Miao Shuyer arrived outside the club, Song Chen had already been sent to the hospital. Song Lao, whose anger finally subsided. Several people got into the car, and Song Lao, who spoke slowly. I'm sorry to have embarrassed you today. It's my fault for not disciplining me properly, which led to today's joke. Song Lao, who never mentioned the blind date. After this incident, the blind date between the Song and Miao families was completely aborted. The blind date failed, but no one knows whether the marriage between the two families will go any further. It depends on what the two old men think. However, for Song Lao Hu, the matter has come to an end. Having lost face so greatly, Song Lao Hu was not thick-skinned enough to tell the Miao father and daughter about this matter again. Har har, brother Song, you're worrying too much. Everyone has a time when they are young and frivolous. When we were young, we did a lot of ridiculous things. Miao Jiulong immediately gave Song Lao Hu a way out. They had been friends for many years and he had to give him this face. But today's Lin Tian did surprise me a little. Miao Jiulong said lightly. Oh, Brother Miao is interested in that person. Song Lao Hu raised his eyebrows slightly. When Lin Tian was mentioned, the atmosphere in the car suddenly became heavy. Miao Shuya on the side said nothing, just quietly looked at the expressions on Song Lao Hu and her father's faces. Although this person is not very old, his behavior and conduct are quite similar to the style I had when I was young. Miao Julong flattered himself without any concealment. Song Lao Hu is not going to stand this anymore. Song Chen has lost so much face today, and finally Lin Tian stood up for him. What does Miao Julong mean by this? Brother Miao, you are wrong. I was the one who taught Lin Tian. How could he have the same demeanor as you did back then? If he did, it would be similar to my style of doing things. Song Lao Hu said. Miao Shuya was speechless for a while. I originally thought that the two big guys would make a unique evaluation of Lin Tian. I didn't expect that right from the start, he would use Lin Tian to gild his own face. If the two of them like Lin Tian so much, they might as well just get together with Lin Tian. Anyway, Miao Shuya was not very interested in Song Chen, but was full of curiosity about Lin Tian. But what I admire most about him is his loyalty. Didn't you hear Song Chen say that in order to protect Song Chen, Lin Tian dared to fight against more than 30 thugs on the opposite side by himself? Miao Julong hit the nail on the head. Not afraid of life or death, be brave to protect the master. Such quality is extremely rare no matter where it is. This is also the sentence that Song Lao Hu wants to hear the most. The fact that Lin Tian can do this really proves his loyalty. Miao Shuya held back her laughter. Lin Tian is loyal. This is probably a huge joke. The Song family is about to have a second child, but these two still think they are loyal. Loyalty is a good thing, but it is also a bad thing. However, it is always a good thing for me. Song Lao Hu said with a smile. His words completely confused Miao Shuya. What is good or bad? What exactly does Song Lao Hu want to say? The two smiled at each other and stopped talking about Lin Tian. Song Lao Hu's meaning was very simple. Lin Tian's loyalty was a good thing for their Song family. But it is a bad thing for Lin Tian himself. If the king orders his subject to die, the subject must die. Just like Lin Tian before, his life was ruined because he took the blame for the Song family. His loyalty is only to help Song Chen get over the MJ incident. Because the loyal Lin Tian will always be a pawn of their Song family. No matter whether Song Lao Hu is there or not, he will always be a tool in Song Chen's hands. If Lin Tian heard this, he would not agree with it. Loyalty is his means of leveraging power, as for who is the pawn and who is the tool. Just look at Song Chen, who is lying in the hospital now. The two bosses had made all kinds of calculations, but they could not have expected that Lin Tian had already seen through the script. The next afternoon, Lin Tian received a call from Song Lao Hu, asking him to go to the Song family. He didn't say anything, he just let him go. Lin Tian thought that it must be some reward that Song Lao Hu promised to give him. The old housekeeper of the Song family just got off the car and stood next to Lin Tian's car. This old butler has served Song Lao Hu for half his life and can be said to be the person closest to Song Lao Hu. The person who received Lin Tian today turned out to be him, which made Lin Tian feel a little surprised. Follow me. The old butler said only 3 words and then started walking. Lin Tian followed the old butler and walked in through the back door of the Song family. The old butler carried Lin Tian around and brought him to a room. Unlike the study room Lin Tian went to last time, this room is more hidden. Chapter 23 Part 1 Rewards. Lin Tian had come to the Song family more than once or twice, but this was the first time he knew that the Song family had such a room. When you push the door open, a floor-to-ceiling window comes into view. Opposite the window is a rockery not far from the Song family. Lin Tian saw Song Lao Hu and Miao Julong sitting next to the teapot under the floor-to-ceiling window and sipping tea. It is so pleasant to drink this kilogram of famous tea worth tens of thousands of dollars while looking at the scenery on the rockery. Lin Tian, you're here, please sit down. Song Lao Hu waved his hand and seemed particularly friendly. I'd better stand. I'm not used to sitting. Lin Tian replied. Song Lao Hu's attitude today made Lin Tian feel very uneasy. Could it be that this old bitch was testing me, or had his affair with Ling Shua been exposed? Har har. Miao Julong smiled faintly at the side. His smile made Lin Tian even more uneasy. At this moment, Song Lao Hu pulled out the M1917 American-made Smith Wesson from his waist. Bang! He slammed the American-made M1917 Smith Wesson on the table. This thing is your reward. Song Lao Hu went straight to the point, but scared Lin Tian half to death. What are you still standing there for? This thing is Mr. Song's favorite thing. Why don't you thank your master quickly? Miao Jiulong urged with a smile. Lin Tian reacted and realized that Song Lao Hu was not testing him, and then he became much more relaxed. Picked up the silver revolver on the table. When I picked up the revolver, I felt a little uncomfortable with its heavy feeling. The sun shines on it, emitting silver light. Thank you, boss. I will never let you down and will make the Song family bigger and stronger and create greater glory. Lin Tian casually packed up the revolver. Be careful, there are bullets in that thing. You can use it at any time by turning on the safety. Miao Jiulong reminded. Hearing this, Lin Tian quickly took out the revolver from his waist. At the same time, Song Lao Hu's eyes also became dark. Master, I don't know how to use this thing. Hopefully it won't go off accidentally. Lin Tian asked. Give it here. Miao Jiulong stretched out his hand. Lin Tian handed the thing over. Miao Jiulong unloaded the bullets from it and handed the revolver to Lin Tian. Come find a place to chat, and I'll ask someone to teach you how to use it. Song Lao Hu put down the teacup. Before, when Song Lao Hu gave Lin Tian a cell phone, he was giving Lin Tian the Song family's connections. Now, when he gives Lin Tian a revolver, he is giving Lin Tian the Song family's means. This also shows that Song Lao Hu once again recognized Lin Tian's ability from the last incident. Okay, you can go out now. Don't leave at night. Stay here and have dinner together. Song Lao Hu ordered. Let's eat. Lin Tian was stunned for a moment. It was his first time to eat at the Song family. You should know that the Song family has a rule that anyone who is a subordinate of the Song family must leave the Song family when the Song family is having a meal. That's right, you go see Song Chen first. Master Miao and I have something to talk about. Song Lao Hu nodded. Lin Tian bowed, walked out of the room and closed the door casually. As soon as Lin Tian left, Song Lao Hu waved toward the window. On the rockery in the distance, a stone moved. If you look closely, you will find that this is a person covered in paint. The man was still holding a gun in his hand, with the scope pointed at the place where Lin Tian had just stood. Brother Song, you are too cautious. Miao Jiulong said. It's better to be safe than sorry. I have offended too many people in my life and I don't want to fall flat on my face at this moment. How can I hand over my daughter to him without any test? Song Lao Hu had a smile on his face. As the Tiger King of Kyoto, Song Hu has risen to the top step by step, and he will never trust anyone easily. What, you mean Song Shi, brother? Miao Jiulong was stunned. His original plan was to marry Miao Shuyer to Song Chen, and then marry Song Hu's youngest daughter to his son. The two families became even closer and their friendship became everlasting. Who would have thought that Song Lao Hu would actually say that he would hand his daughter over to Lin Tian, a follower of his son? If Song Hu wanted to bribe Lin Tian, then he was spending too much money. If Miao Jiulong knew that his daughter was about to run away with Lin Tian, I wonder what he would think. At this time, Lin Tian had not noticed that if he had done anything abnormal in the room just now. Today's reward seems to be a reward for Lin Tian, but in fact it hides a murderous intention. He would be shot in the head instantly by the sniper on the rockery. After walking out of the room, Lin Tian came to the Song family's living room. Song Chen and Ling Xue and Miao Shuyer were all in the living room. Especially Song Chen, after seeing Lin Tian, he felt like he was given a shot of chicken blood. Brother Chen, you're here. Song Chen felt much better after a night of treatment, but the swelling on his face had not gone down. You'd better call me Lin Tian. It wouldn't be appropriate for the master to hear it. Lin Tian said. Hey, Brother Chen, why do you care about this? I've thought about it. From now on, we'll talk about our own things. I'll call you Brother Chen, and you'll call me Young Master Song. Song Chen patted Lin Tian's shoulder. Lin Tian is here, why didn't you tell me earlier? A familiar voice sounded. And Ling Xue walked down from the second floor and looked at Lin Tian with a smile on her face. Today she was wearing a short skirt on the lower body and a waistcoat on the upper body, which looked very cool. He even blinked when he saw Lin Tian. Lin Tian's heart skipped a beat. What a demon! Hello, madam. Lin Tian replied politely. It's too formal to call me madam. From now on, just call me Sister Shui. I'm not much older than you. And Ling Xue said with a smile. That makes sense, that makes sense. Now it's okay for me to call you Brother Chen. Song Chen grinned aside. Lin Tianbai looked at Song Chen. What a joke. If this goes on, you'll have to call me Dad. After a round of greetings, Lin Tian and his companions walked into the Song family's restaurant. There was a large round table in the middle of the restaurant, which was filled with delicious food. As soon as a few people sat down, Song Laohu and Miao Jiulong walked into the restaurant and sat down. Song Laohu and Miao Jiulong sat in the upper seats, and opposite Lin Tian sat in Ling Xue and Miao Shuye. Song Chen, whose head was swollen like a pig, sat next to Lin Tian. Everyone, don't be restrained. Today's family dinner is open to outsiders. Feel free to eat and drink as you like. Song Laohu spoke, and several people started using their chopsticks. Brother Chen, please eat your vegetables. Song Chen picked up a chicken leg and put it in Lin Tian's bowl. When Song Laohu heard Song Chen calling him Brother Chen, he didn't react. Yes, Lin Tian, don't be restrained. Just think of it as a meal with your family. Song Laohu said with a smile. Thank you, boss. Lin Tian nodded. If you have the chance in the future, stay at the Song family for a few more meals. Song Laohu picked up a piece of fish and put it in front of President Lin Tianwang. Hiss. Just then, I suddenly felt a touch on my leg. The touch is silky, just like a strand of silk brushing past. Lin Tian suddenly stood up with goosebumps all over his body. Snap! Lin Tian's chopsticks fell to the ground. Chapter 24 Part 2 Dark Under the Table. Everyone looked at Lin Tian at the same time, wondering what had happened to Lin Tian. Sorry. Lin Tian apologized quickly and bent down to pick up the chopsticks on the ground. Har, Lin Tian, don't be so formal. Song Laohu thought that Lin Tian was scared because he picked up food for him. Lin Tian didn't have to explain, and while picking up the chopsticks, he lowered his head and saw the scene under the table. And Ling Xue's little feet had already stretched to Lin Tian's side, lifted up Lin Tian's trouser legs, and kept rubbing on Lin Tian's calves. That's nothing. And Ling Xue is still wearing a short skirt today. No safety pants yet. Phew. Black. Lace. Lin Tian swallowed his saliva under the table. And Ling Xue even deliberately spread her legs apart. Brother Chen, don't pick it up if it falls on the ground. I'll ask the servants to change a pair for you. Song Chen shouted. Okay. Lin Tian looked up with a strange expression on his face. Song Laohu nodded with satisfaction. It seemed that Lin Tian still had great respect for him. Having this trace of shows that Lin Tian is not a difficult person to control. It also indirectly shows that Lin Tian has no ambition. The servant quickly brought a pair of new chopsticks. When Lin Tian took the chopsticks, he glanced at Ling Xue inadvertently. Song Laohu is right next to us, can we please be a little more low-key? Fortunately, it was my chopsticks that fell. What if Song Laohu's chopsticks fell? Noticing that Lin Tian was staring at her, and Ling Xue wisely pulled her foot back. Brother Chen, let me toast you. Song Chen raised his glass. Lin Tian did not dare to delay. When he was about to pick up the wine glass, he was suddenly petrified on the spot. Here we go again. This time it was even more excessive, last time it was only on the calf. This time he was promoted directly to Lin Tian's retreat. It's just a little bit away from Lin Tian's key point. Aren't Ling Xue's legs this long? Lin Tian's hand shook and the wine in the glass spilled. He looked at Song Laohu warily. You saved Song Chen, so this cup should be a toast to you. Don't feel too burdened and drink it. The smile on Song Laohu's face became even more intense. It seems that Lin Tian is not only in awe of himself, but also of Song Chen. This is great. In the future, Lin Tian will definitely become Song Chen's most powerful helper. What a bullshit. Brother, can you please look down and take a look? If you don't do anything about it, your wife will die soon. Lin Tian picked up the wine glass and clinked it with Song Chen, then drank it all in front of Song Laohu. Boss, don't worry. As long as I'm here, no one will ever hurt the young master. The official's words are indispensable. No matter whether you, Song Lao Hu, believe it or not, I, Lin Tian, will never believe it even if you beat me to death. After drinking, Lin Tian took advantage of Song Lao Hu and Miao Jiulong raising their glasses and reached one hand under the table. He grabbed in Ling Xue's naughty jade feet. And Ling Xue glanced at Lin Tian with a hint of surprise in her eyes. Obviously, he didn't expect Lin Tian to dare to resist with his hands. Not only was she resisting, Lin Tian was also tickling the soles of her feet. It was like electricity running through her body. Numb and crisp. And Ling Xue trembled violently. He. She couldn't help laughing out loud. What's wrong with Anton? Miao Shuyer asked from the side. And Ling Xue's sudden laughter made her feel puzzled. Since no one was telling any jokes, I didn't know why Ling Xue was laughing so hard. When she asked this, everyone at the table looked at Ling Xue. Forehead. And Ling Xue remained calm and pulled her foot back from Lin Tian's hand. I'm laughing. Lin Tian can be so nervous just eating at our house. He is totally different from the one in the dance hall. Lin Tian was speechless. Am I nervous? What's wrong with me? You have no idea. You'll get used to it. Song Lao Hu also laughed. What does this mean? It means that Lin Tian will have to eat at the Song family often in the future. Just wait, you will be discovered sooner or later. Even if Song Lao Hu was blind, he would be able to notice something was wrong if he did it many times. Lin Tian gave Ling Xue a blank look in his heart. This is tempting Lin Tian to commit a crime. Don't do it once and for all. I will not offend others unless they offend me. Lin Tian took off his leather shoes, stretched out his feet, and reached out from under the table towards Ling Xue. Lin Tian's feet just touched this side and felt soft. And Ling Xue didn't react, and Miao Shuyer beside her groaned. The snow-white smiling face instantly turned red, like a ripe tomato. What happened to Shuyer? Miao Jiulong asked. No. It's okay. I just choked after taking a sip of wine. Miao Shuyer explained hurriedly, her eyes constantly looking towards Lin Tian. Lin Tian didn't care. His attention was all on Ling Xue. Seeing that Ling Xue didn't react, Lin Tian felt a little puzzled. This gobliness concentration is so strong? Subconsciously, I increased the intensity and deepened the scale. Miao Shuyer's face turned even redder, and her body began to tremble uncontrollably. His eyes were closed, his brows were furrowed, and he was biting his lips, as if he was enduring something. Bang! Miao Shuyer suddenly stood up. Dad, I'm feeling a little unwell. You guys take your time eating. After saying that, Miao Shuyer left the restaurant. As soon as Miao Shuyer left, Lin Tian felt empty under his feet. Lin Tian immediately retracted his foot and straightened his back. Oh no! I think I made a mistake just now. Now that's great, Lin Tian unlocked 2 achievements after 1 meal. It would be fine if it happened in front of Song Lao Hu, but in front of Miao Jiulong. At this time, these 2 idiots were still drinking and talking happily. One word, older brother, the other, younger brother, speaks of the brotherhood between the two. Lin Tian's throat was dry. If Miao Shuyer had shouted just now. Even if he is completely finished, he will be skinned alive even if he doesn't die. But what made Lin Tian wonder was why Miao Shuyer didn't say anything. Isn't this girl the same? Lin Tian shook his head. There weren't so many goblins in the world. He must be overthinking it. Since Miao Shuyer didn't expose him on the spot, Lin Tian just pretended nothing had happened and continued eating and drinking. After 3 rounds of drinks, Song Lao Hu put down his cup. He and Miao Jiulong finished a bottle of Wanhai together. Each person drinks half a catty of wine, but Song Lao Hu is not drunk at all, which shows how good his alcohol tolerance is. Lin Tian, after you finish your meal, I will arrange something for you. Song Lao Hu said in a serious tone. Boss, you say it, and I will definitely complete it. Lin Tian sat upright. After dinner, I will send someone to go to Wanhai group with you to help me get back a debt owed to me. Song Lao Hu said lightly. Lin Tian was stunned when he heard this. There were still people in Kyoto who dared to owe Song Lao Hu money. Why does the name of Wanhai group sound so familiar? Without thinking too much, since Song Lao Hu had spoken, Lin Tian didn't dare to refuse. But Lin Tian vaguely felt that this should be a test from Song Lao Hu. This old bitch is testing herself all the time. He had just been given a revolver, and now his ability to do things was being tested. After finishing his meal, Lin Tian did not delay and went straight to the parking lot. I saw someone already waiting beside Lin Tianche. Chapter 25 Debt Collection. The man was wearing a black suit and had a clean-looking face. There was a tiger-shaped badge on his chest. When Lin Tian saw the badge, he knew that this person was deliberately arranged by Song Lao Hu to monitor him. Recently, he has shown an unstoppable trend in the Song family, and it is understandable that Song Lao Hu arranges someone by his side just in case. It is mentioned in the novel that this is a common tactic used by Song Lao Hu. He was extremely cautious about anyone who came to power in the Song family. A probation period will be set for this person. If he passes the probation period, he will gain his trust and rise rapidly in the Song family. But if something unexpected happens during the inspection period, I'm sorry about that. The next day your body should appear in the sea or on the beach. When the man saw Lin Tian coming, he smiled and the badge on his chest sparkled under the light. Especially the two eyes on the tiger badge, as if they were watching Lin Tian all the time. Hello, Brother Chen, my name is Wang Tong. The man stretched out his hand and wanted to shake hands with Lin Tian. Drive. Lin Tian ignored him and put the key directly into Wang Tong's hand. Wang Tong was stunned for a moment. He realized that he was sent by Song Lao Hu to monitor you, not your driver. But when he saw Lin Tian already sitting in the passenger seat, Wang Tong swallowed back the words on his lips. Lin Tian is now a favorite of Song Lao Hu. The Song family's specially made mobile phones were all given to Lin Tian. What does this mean? Song Lao Hu wants to make use of Lin Tian. There was no need for him to fall out with Lin Tian over such a trivial matter. Well then. In order to complete the task, I will be the driver myself. He started the car and left from the Song family's door. On their way. In fact, it's not your place to ask for the money. The people in Wanhai group are just a bunch of hardcore idiots. Even if you don't come back by then, Mr. Song won't blame you. Wang Tong spoke while driving, ostensibly for Lin Tian's sake, but actually he was trying to test Lin Tian's attitude. This is also his mission. This is not the first time Wang Tong has done such a thing. He has monitored no less than 24 people, but only a handful of them survived. You are teaching me how to do things. Just drive your car properly. The Song family has too many good-for-nothings like you, so many things have not been accomplished. Lin Tian scolded mercilessly. Wang Tong was stunned. Lin Tian, who dared to speak to him like that, was the first one to carry out the mission. Because normal people more or less know their identity, which is Song Lao Hu's pair of eyes. Even if it is disrespectful, it will not offend me. But Lin Tian is different from others. He just lets himself drive for him. The sentence, "You are teaching me how to do things," really caught Wang Tong off guard. Har har, since you are so confident, I won't say any more. Wang Tong sneered in his heart. There's no one around to help and remind you. Just watch. A young man like you will not even know why you died when you die. Why are you showing off in front of yourself? If you can't complete your task, you are just a useless fish. On the other side, in a small room of the Song family, Song Lao Hu and his family of 3 were watching a surveillance video. The person in the surveillance video was Lin Tian, who was sitting in the car. The impact of the surveillance video came from the badge on Wang Tong's chest. Lin Tian was doing his task over there, and watching the live broadcast over here. You are teaching me how to do things. Isn't this my dad's catchphrase? Song Chen squinted his eyes and said, you know what, when Lin Tian said this, he really had some of my dad's charm. He really is like my dad. And Ling Xue on the side gave Song Chen a cold look and asked, is there anyone who speaks like that? Say Lin Tian looks like your father. What's wrong? Calling Chen brother is not enough, you also want to call Chen dad. Song Lao, who is still beside you. I don't know how you, such an unlucky child, grew up like this. However, Song Lao, who didn't care, or he didn't hear what Song Chen said just now. He stared at the TV screen with a smile on his face. This Lin Tian is quite interesting. In the picture, Lin Tian is sitting in the car with his eyes closed. He was thinking about the description of Wanhai Group in the novel. Wanhai Group is a long-established enterprise in Kyoto, and its CEO is friends with Song Lao Hu. I borrowed some money from the Song family a few years ago, and we had agreed on the interest and repayment time. Who knew that when the repayment period came, Wanhai Group refused to pay the loan, claiming that the interest rate on the Song family's loan was too high. During this period, many people from the Song family went there, but they all returned in vain. Because of their friendship, Song Lao Hu did not fall out with the other party, and the process was delayed for half a year. In the novel, the first company that the protagonist Chen Fan fully controlled in Kyoto was the Wanhai Company. Finally, using Wanhai Company as a starting point, he helped the heroine Dong Yiyi to rise to power, defeated the Dong family, and Dong Panchen completely controlled the Dong family. Therefore, the Wanhai Group plays a very crucial role for Chen Fan in the novel. As for why Chen Fan could control such a large company as Wanhai Group as a bodyguard. Having read the novel, Lin Tian knew exactly what methods Chen Fan used. The car arrived at the gate of Wanhai Group and Wang Tong was about to park in the parking lot. Lin Tian called out to him. "It's parked in front of the Wanhai Group." Wang Tong looked back at Lin Tian with a hint of surprise in his eyes. "Stop at the gate, are you trying to block the door?" Wang Tong asked. "You have to know that this is the Wanhai Group. Although you are a member of the Song family, you are just a minion now. Aren't you afraid of retaliation from Wanhai Group by blocking the door so blatantly? Why are you talking so much nonsense? Just stop when I tell you to. We are here to ask for money, not to rob you. I am justified and you have nothing to be afraid of." Lin Tian glared at Wang Tong. Wang Tong bit his lower lip, shook his head continuously, and looked at him with disdain. Good, good, good. You Lin Tian are awesome, I want to see how you perform today. We're parked in front of Wanhai Group, right? No problem. Just wait and see how those security guards from Wanhai Group deal with you. As soon as Wang Tong parked the car, it stopped in front of the gate of Wanhai Group, blocking the door tightly. 2 or 3 people in security uniforms came running over there, holding wooden sticks and looking angry. Hey, 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 where are your eyes? Can you see clearly that this is the parking space? Get out of the way quickly. The security guard shouted while banging on the car window. Wang Tong rolled down the car window, shrugged, and looked at Lin Tian next to him. What I mean is, don't look at me, I can't do anything about it. He was the one who parked the car here. If you have any problems, go find him. Lin Tian also rolled down the window and looked at the security guards in front of him. You are the owner of the car, right? Move it quickly. Don't blame me for not warning you. Don't even look at where you are. The security guard knocked on the roof of the car with the wooden stick in his hand. What kind of place is this? This is the place where people owe me money. Lin Tian said coldly, this place is spacious. I will stop here today. Chapter 26 Stop at your door. When the security guard heard this, his face suddenly changed. What do you mean by that, kid? Just tell me whether you will move or not, the security guard said sternly. Don't move. Lin Tian said in a deep voice. If you don't move, I will smash your car, the security guard threatened. Hearing this, he laughed instead of getting angry. Smash the car. If you know whose car this is, you can smash it. Not to mention how much this Rolls-Royce is worth, or whether your Wanhai Group can afford it. If it really gets smashed, do you think it would just be the car that gets smashed? This is a blow to Song Lao Hu's face. What Lin Tian relies on to suppress others is Song Lao Hu's reputation. It's not that I look down on you, but if I gave you the guts, would you dare to smash it? Lin Tian said with a smile. Who do you think you are, kid? You don't even bother to ask what kind of company our Wanhai Group is. Do you think I really don't dare to smash it? The security guard walked to the front of the car with a sullen face. He dared to smash the car, he must have received instructions from above, and even if he destroyed the car, Wanhai Group would support them. Go ahead and smash it. I'll watch you smash it. Lin Tian held his head with his hands and crossed his legs. Wang Tong on the side looked confused, not knowing what Lin Tian was up to. If they really let them smash the car and Song Lao Hu finds out, Lin Tian will be in big trouble. The security guard gritted his teeth, raised the wooden stick in his hand high, and was about to smash it on the hood of the Rolls-Royce. If it hits, it will at least leave a small hole in it. Lin Tian in the car calmly pressed a button on the dashboard. Squeak! A motor sound was heard, and a small hole appeared in front of the car. A golden little tiger slowly rose from the hole. Hiss. When the security guard saw the golden tiger, he was stunned. This. Others lifted up little golden men, but this car lifted up a little tiger. Everyone who lives in Kyoto knows what this little tiger represents. Gulp. The security guard swallowed. The wooden stick in his hand hung on the hood for a long time without falling. The car in front of you is Song Lao Hu's car. This is the only Rolls-Royce that this little golden tiger dares to use in the whole Kyoto. He didn't even dare to imagine what the consequences would have been if he had hit someone with the stick just now. Why don't you smash it anymore? Weren't you very awesome just now? Lin Tian asked. He opened the car door, got out of the car and came to the security guard. Grab the hat on his head and shake it continuously. Even if I give you a chance, you can't do anything about it. Lin Tian's appearance perfectly portrayed the image of a villain's henchman. That arrogance, and that recklessness. Wang Tong in the car was stunned. As both are subordinates of the Song family, why is the gap between him and Lin Tian so big? Lin Tian used the situation to pressure others, but it was not necessary for others to be present. As long as the conditions are right, every blade of grass and every tree around you will be like Mount Tai pressing down on you. Not to mention the security guards of Wanhai Group. Even if the president of Wanhai Group came, do you think he would dare to smash the car? Originally, they thought that Lin Tian would be beaten up by the security guards, but who knew that Lin Tian would abuse them so much that they didn't even dare to say a word? You have to know that this is at the gate of Wanhai Group. If Lin Tian hadn't done that. These people really dared to grab Lin Tian and Wang Tong from the car and beat them up. This method of taking advantage of one's situation to pressure others was the first time Wang Tong had seen it. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were Boss Song's man. Please forgive me for my negligence just now. The security guard put away the wooden stick in his hand. He spread out his sleeves and rubbed them on the windshield continuously. From time to time, he would exhale and wipe away all the stains on the windshield. Sir, why don't you move somewhere else? I won't be able to explain if my boss sees me here. The security guard's tone softened. Seeing that he couldn't win, he played the emotional card with Lin Tian. What I mean is that we are all workers, and there is no need for workers to make things difficult for each other. Snort. Lin Tian snorted coldly. Go tell your leader that if he doesn't give the money today, this place will be the Song family's parking space in the future. Lin Tian waved his hand and walked towards the Wanhai Group. The Song family's parking space is right in front of the gate of your Wanhai Group, and they asked the security guard to pass this message to the leaders of Wanhai Group. After this was said, the security guard dared not say anything more. What Lin Tian said was not just a sentence, but it expressed the attitude of the entire Song family. Wang Tong in the car stared at Lin Tian blankly. Why does this guy dare to speak so toughly? If I knew you were just a follower, I would have thought it was Song Lao who came to Wanhai Group in person. Is this guy really a KTV manager? Wang Tong showed a suspicious expression. As far as he knew, Lin Tian had been in this position for less than a month. Wang Tong shook his head and remembered his mission. He immediately opened the car door and followed Lin Tian into the Wanhai Group building. This kid is quite stylish. Song Lao who said with a smile in front of the screen. Song Lao who had also sent a few people there before, and their approach was completely different from Lin Tian's. I didn't know what I was doing, so I went to Wanhai Group and talked to the people there. The result is that not a single cent of the money was recovered, and the last thing people are afraid of is reason. As soon as you open your mouth, there will be 10,000 excuses waiting for you on the other side. Dad, listen to what Brother Chen said. Whether it makes you proud or not, I feel relieved when I hear it. Song Chen said excitedly. When we sent people there before, the people from Marriott Group were all so arrogant. I think we were just giving them face. Song Chen wanted to take a taxi over immediately and experience Lin Tian's happiness. When can you give me some face? Song Lao who said unhappily. And Ling Xue was sitting on the sofa in the room and smiled when she saw this scene. Beat the mountain and scare the tiger. Such performance was enough to satisfy Song Lao Hu. But looking at Song Lao Hu's eyes, he seemed to want more. Come on, little darling Lin Tian. It depends on you whether you can come to the Song family often in the future. And Ling Xue's face was full of joy and her heart was filled with excitement. Lin Tian came directly to Wanhai Group, and Wang Tong followed Lin Tian without saying a word. Dealing with a few security guards is not a big deal. The key task today is to ask for money, and the person to be dealt with is Wanhai's chairman. The chairman of Wanhai is also a well-known figure in Kyoto. I don't know how Lin Tian will deal with this old fox. Lin Tian swaggered to the front desk of Wanhai Group. I have to say that the young lady at the front desk of Wanhai Group is really beautiful. She is so cute that you can squeeze water out of her little face. Go find your boss and tell him that someone from the Song family wants to see him. Lin Tian softened his tone when facing the young lady. Workers should not make things difficult for workers. He came here today to ask for money, not to cause trouble. Lin Tian knows exactly when to be arrogant and when to be low-key. If you act like a fool and talk back to everyone you meet, you are no different from a fool. When she heard that Lin Tian was a member of the Song family, the lady at the front desk was obviously stunned. You know, this is not the first time the Song family has sent someone here. When those people came before, they didn't even get to see their boss.